Now it's time. It's time to talk the Orville. Ooh. What's going on, everybody? Testing. 1, 2, 1, 2. Mic check. You will be silent. What's going on, everybody? Hanging out here talking about the show that we love, the Orville. The Orville, but we also sneak some other shows in there as well. Let's see who's here right now. We got just a few of you are popping in at the moment, and of course more will join as the seconds and minutes pass by us. What's up, Kelly? What's up, strategist, Miss the Future Shogun? And that's all that is showing. What's up, Star Trek Edge, Archmage Frey? Species 1571, how you doing? Hey. The stream has begun. That's right, I'm trying to do these weekly, just like we used to do. Jaloja. Dr. Scott Giles. Trying to do
Jaloja!
These weekly streams like we used to do back in the day, now that we're counting down to the unknown premiere date of the Orville. We got to get people on board with the Orville, because we want not only the new season, but we want a season after that, and a season after that, and a season after that. And the more people that are watching, the more likely that's going to happen. And hopefully, unlike last year, well, 2 years now, more than that now. No, about 2 years. Instead of having to wait forever until we hear news of a renewal, I want to hear a season 4 renewal announcement before season 3 even airs. Lots of other shows are doing that now, especially shows that are on streaming services. Usually when a new season is about to come out, especially on Amazon. Amazon's very much known for doing this. As soon as the new season drops, or right before the new season drops, says, oh yeah, we also already renewed it for the next season after that. So the Orville deserves that. The Orvillian fans, the most dedicated fans of all fandoms, the most patient of all fans of all fandoms, deserve a little extra, hey, thanks for waiting. Here's a little good news for you as well. Corey Kennedy, Jonathan R., Curtis Tate, Tom, Kevin. How you doing, Kevin? You just answer my question when it comes out. I'm going to be buying it on Xbox Live like I did the past 2 seasons. I also get reward points when I buy it back, so I can make more purchases. Yay, more purchases. Yeah, I actually, even though I've always had access to the Orville via Hulu, because I've had Hulu since day one of Hulu, for years and years and years, even though I've always had access to it, I also purchased the Orville, both seasons, on Amazon, just so I can say, hey, I like this show. I like it. Also, I do find it easier sometimes just to click on Amazon real quick to, pull a clip, from the Orville for a video that I'm making, which, let's face it, I'm always making some sort of Orville video, and I need clips. Mercer Create, thank you so much.
Boom, bitch!
That's right, boom. It is called Gum, Kelly. Is it helping? It is not. It is not helping. I'll be streaming for an hour or two, maybe 2 hours. I decided, at 4:30, I always have to go and pick up the kid from school. So I'm like, let me starting these streams about 2 o'clock my time, so I have at least 2 hours or so to do a stream, hang out, chat, which is the whole point of these live streams. All live streams are to hang out and chat and talk to you guys, and you talk to me, and we can hang out and be friends. And I'm just home alone. You guys make it less lonely. It is called Gum. Is it helping? It is not. Thanks, Archmage. Yeah, I released on Egotastic 2. Link is up, pinned to the top. Because, I'm always thinking a lot about how to do YouTube correctly so that the YouTube robots shine Avis's grace upon me. And I'm like, well, they want you to niche down. And I'm like, well, Egotastic FunTime, the main channel, right now the niche is the Orville. So keep doing the Orville and just keep putting out better Orville stuff. You know, there's there's other channels that talk about the Orville kind of every once in a while, but you know, they kind of just put a video, hey, what's up? This is what I'm thinking. This is what I thought of this episode or whatever. Or here's some news that just came out. I'm like, no, I want to put together a show, an actual show, which is harder, which is fine. And so that's what I'm trying to do right now with Egotastic FunTime main channel. But I got lots of other thoughts. I had thoughts on Falcon and Winter Soldier and Marvel and getting tired of, as much as I appreciate Marvel and I love what they're doing and I love their superhero stuff more than other superhero stuff. I'm like, I'm kind of getting tired. There's just too much. So I put out a whole video about that on Egotastic 2, and I'm going to keep putting out videos on Egotastic 2 because I got more to talk about, and you guys got more you want to hear about and talk about as well in the comments below. YouTube. What's up, Booger? How you doing? Roz! Thanks, Roz. Roz says, I enjoy your Orville reviews. Well, I can't wait because I got a lot of Orville stuff to talk about even before Season 3 comes out. But once Season 3 comes out, man, the plan already for when the Orville comes out, each week there'll be a new episode for 11 weeks. And, you know, I'm going to do just like before, which was great. It was, I watched the episode, I instantly do like a card time, first reaction, first impression, lasting impressions, first impression video, so I can tell you exactly the way I'm feeling in the moment of everything I just saw. And then I crack open the internet, start doing my research, start really diving into the episode that just came out, and try to put together a comprehensive, fact-filled, fun-filled review of every episode. It's gonna be a while before I have to do that. I'm guessing we're not gonna get the third season till much later in the year. You know, very late fall, early winter is my guess, but that's just a guess. I'm sure we'll be getting an announcement very soon, within a month or so, because they're getting really close to having the entire season filmed. They still got a while to go, but not that much. A couple months, and they'll be done filming it. And they got enough film now where it should be cool. They should be able to be confident in saying when they think it'll be out. So they're probably going to have a meeting. If they haven't already had the meeting, I know they expected to have the meeting a couple months ago, but then they got briefly shut down because there was a little COVID spike in Hollywood. So Hollywood shut down for a couple of weeks, but then they were back at it. But they planned on having the big meeting, back then, but then there's a little bit of a delay because of the little COVID spike. So things have been going good for a while with filming. And they're putting out little information here and there a couple times a week. So I'm guessing if they haven't already done it, that they're about to sit down and say, okay, when should we likely be able to tell people when season 3 is coming out? I can feel it. It's coming. Can't wait for that trailer. I'm sure the trailer's already been made. Gary. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, Nerdrotic also likes the Orville. So we have very similar opinions on the Orville, I'm sure. I've talked to Gary a little bit from Nerdrotic about the Orville. I know he's a big fan of the show. Don't forget thank you, Daniel Van Zandt says, don't forget to hit that like button and show JP some love. That's actually going to be kind of my next video on Egotastic 2 channel, which is almost more of like a podcast vlogging style channel. That video is going to be called, Do You Like This Video? And that's just going to be the title of the video. And then I'll just go on about, YouTube. The YouTube algorithm doesn't really care about subscriber counts anymore. Just in case any of you guys are out there, have your own channels, and you're thinking about that sort of thing. YouTube doesn't care about subscriber counts. A very small channel can get 1 billion views on a video if it goes viral. Just like a huge channel can get a little bit of views on a video. They care about thumbs up, and they care about comments. and viewer interaction. That's about it. And then if a video gets that, then they put that video out for more people to hopefully click on and watch. JP, what will the watch party on Twitch be of tomorrow? I meant to do this today already, but I haven't done it. I was going to go on and see what movies. It'd be nice to watch a full 2-hour movie as opposed to always watch episodes of classic Star Trek. So I'm going to see what movies are available. If there's a good movie for us, we'll be watching a movie tomorrow. But I'll make an announcement on the Egotastic Twitter page. Avis, we try harder. Lick that love button. Oh, Galaxy Quest. We watched Galaxy Quest once, but it wasn't on Prime. We had to do it the hard way. Yeah, maybe Galaxy Quest is one of the best sci-fi movies out there, or most fun sci-fi movies with a little bit of a inside look of what it's like to be kind of a your old sci-fi show that you started in with your glory days, and the fandom. It was a great movie for. They weren't making fun of fandom; they were having fun with fandom, which is very different. Which I think is why that movie became so beloved, because they weren't putting down sci-fi fans like us. They were lifting us up in a way. Turkish Star Wars. People like Turkish Star Wars. Roberta from the most easterly town in the UK. Welcome to Egotastic FunTimes, talking the Orville show. No, I don't really care to see an Orville movie because the next season is going to be an 11-hour Orville movie. I mean, it'll be the quality of a movie. Season 3 is supposed to be. And it's basically they're making another reason besides the pandemic, which just hit them at the wrong time. It's supposed to be basically an 11-hour movie. So it takes a long time to create an 11-hour movie. So I think that'll be enough for me. I just want more Orville. I'll just take 2 more episodes of the Orville as opposed to a movie. But it would be nice to see it on a big screen, wouldn't it? Tom Casey, what?
She speaks with the might of 100 soldiers.
Tom says, always love your opinions and views on everything you talk about, especially Orville and Star Trek. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Tom. Thank you. Won't really have any Star Trek opinions again until, well, I always have opinions. Well, new Star Trek opinions until August. The next new Star Trek episodes we're going to get is in August, and that's of Lower Decks. And I consider that more of a super duper fan series, Star Trek series, than an actual Star Trek series. Love it. Want more of it. But it hits a different, Lower Decks hits a different button in my sci-fi trekkiness. What's up, Mike? Mike says, I always felt like that W Star Trek. I love shows way more than the movies. Oh yeah, with Star Trek. Yeah, I always liked the shows more than the movies as well. Of course, I love me some Star Trek movies. The Voyage Home, because it was a fun one. The Voyage Home was kind of more of an Orville style adventure than regular Star Trek style adventure. Yeah, we'll have season 2 of Lower Decks in August. Season 4 of Discovery will probably be out around the same time as season 3 of the Orville, and then Picard will be out in 2022. When in 2022? I don't know. They haven't said yet, but it'll be, or have they? I don't know. I don't keep as close watch on Star Trek news as I used to. I'm always looking for that Orville news. What's up, Jonathan Perez? I'm doing good. Doing good. Got a video out last night of the episode titles of season 3 of the Orville that I did a breakdown on each of them, did my research, came up with some ideas and some theories. I actually had that video done a couple days ago, but that video, if you've seen it, has a sponsor. So I had to wait for the sponsor's approval to release it. And I was like, come on, hurry up. I want to put this out. And they finally came through, so I put it out. And if you have any interest in Skillshare, this is not sponsored by Skillshare at all. It's just sponsored by Nerdy Conversation. But if any of you guys are interested to learn stuff, I highly recommend clicking on that link in the latest video and getting that free membership, premium membership. Learn some stuff, keep on with it or cancel it after you learn what you want. But I believe it's no money down or anything like that. It's just you get the free membership for a couple months, I think it is. But it's only 1,000 people per link, so make sure you're one of the first 1,000 so that you make sure you get it completely free. I've been watching. I've done a couple of classes on Skillshare about marketing, YouTube stuff, and a little bit on video making. But I mostly know how to do video making. It's the marketing and promotion stuff that I needed some education in. Oh yeah, Belinda, I've watched all of The Expanse. The last season, season 5 of The Expanse, didn't keep my attention as well as season 4, except for every time Amos came on. Anything having to do with Amos, and Amos had a really great adventure on Earth. And Earth is my favorite part about The Expanse. It's like, I don't care about what's going on in space. I want to see what happened to Earth. So they did a lot of stuff on Earth, and that always kept my interest. But a lot of the other stuff that happened in season 5 wasn't really keeping my attention that well. But then in the last 5 minutes, I was like, damn, I can't wait to see this. What happens here? I'm like, oh, that's next season. Damn it. They waited till the last 5 minutes to start the story, and now I gotta wait another year. Damn you, Jeff Bezos. But yeah, The Expanse is great. It's probably the most accurate sci-fi series I've seen. What's up, Jacob? How you doing? I put in my contract that they don't have to review it. Well, you have to agree for them to review it, or else they're not going to give you a contract. Not that it's much. It's great to have a sponsor here and there, but it's not gonna. It might pay the internet bill for that month, and that's about it. Because I'm a small channel, it's just a little extra, little boost. But I got one more Skillshare sponsored video the end of next month, and then hopefully they'll re-up with me, or maybe give me. I guess more people click, the better contracts they'll give me, if they give me any more at all. We'll have to wait and see. Ooh, any idea if season 3 of the Orville will be in 4K HDR? That would be really nice. Seems possible now, being on the Hulu. I don't know. I haven't even looked into that. I didn't even think about that, but I would assume it would be available in 4K. If it's on Hulu. Are there other originals in 4K? I think they are, right? It's got to be. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Strange New Worlds. Very interested because we like Captain Pike. Anson Mount was great. Despite whatever else was going on around him, we like Captain Pike. So I'm very interested to see. And from what they say, Strange New Worlds is going to be a little bit more classic sci-fi, episodic. They're going to be bringing back the original style Star Trek uniforms from the original series, which should also be fun. Just get rid of the collars. They throw me off. We can't have those collars. That's a little too high fashion. If you think Egotastic FunTime is fun, throw JP a few bucks. You really will find it funny. That's the only way people find me funny. They'll throw down some super chats and they'll go, ho, 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 ho. They laugh. They're like, I can't believe I did that. Have you seen the old show called Andromeda, also done by Gene Roddenberry? I know of Andromeda. I'm sure I've seen clips of Andromeda. I'm positive I have, long time ago. But I haven't. I can't say I really watched it. Thanks, Jacob. One thing I keep thinking about, and I'm going to do a video about it, because, oh man, and I've talked about this before. I've talked about it, I think, a little bit each week the last couple of weeks, because I can't get it off my brain. And if it turns out to be true, it'll be the biggest, best prediction I've ever had for the Oroville. And I'll party. If it turns out to be true, I'm going to go and I'm going to buy so many tacos, you guys. I think the original Kalon are the multiphasic planet from season 1 Mad Idolatry, the season 1 finale, where Kelly goes and accidentally starts that Kelly religion, and then Isaac stays behind to put things right that went wrong with those people thanks to Kelly. And I think those are the original Kalons. I don't think we ever learned their people's names, the name of those people. I think they're the Kalon. I think they had Isaac on their planet for 700 years. They became more technologically advanced. Isaac eventually went back to the Orville, and the people were great. We're all like utopian and whatnot. Well, what's to say they didn't, like, after Isaac says, man, we kind of miss having an android around. Let's make our own androids. Let's model them after Isaac, because that's the one that we know. Now everybody could get an Isaac. You could get an Isaac. You could get an Isaac. And then they start making more Isaacs. They start making them do all the manual labor and all this and that. And then things go awry when they say, hey, we're kind of sentient now. Kind of like, let us just be part of society. They're like, no, you're our workers. And then they put in pain receptors so that they can torture them to do the work that they want them to do. And then they finally, it all, there's a big backlash. And then the androids turn on the people, murder them all, and take over the planet. And if you fast forward in time to the modern day Orville universe, it's the Kalon planet. The Kalon planet might be that multiphasic planet. The planet that the Orville's been coming across, that comes into our universe every 11 days, and 700 years pass over those 11 days before it comes back. I think that planet isn't in its own universe. It's in another time. It's in the past. I think eventually that multiphasic planet might come back, and it's just full of Kalon. And they're like, oh my God, it's the Kalon planet. What are we going to do? I think that's a huge possibility, and it would be a jaw-dropping bomb on the audience, and they could totally fit all the pieces together to make that happen. Kind of seems obvious to me at this point the more I think about it. Anyway, I'm going to do a whole video on that, explaining every little thing that pops in my head to make it like that it could be true. Like the Daleks. God, not another. I think it's totally possible. Yeah, they might have been utopian for a while. I mean, who knows how far in the past that planet is from. And they might come, the Kalon might, the multiphasic planet returns and it's just full of Kalon. But the Kalon don't know about the Union or humanity yet, except for the ones from their planet. So they don't have anything against us. But they're only around for a couple hours, right? And then they go back to their own time. Yeah, I hope it's Gordon that figures it out. It's always great when Gordon figures things out, you guys. Where's Gordon's leg? Especially when he figures out where his leg is. JP, I did not like the TNG uniforms from the first two seasons. I hated them. Do you hate the ones from season 3 and up? No, season 3 and up, I like the uniforms. I like all Trek uniforms season 3 and up. I love the DS9 uniforms. I really liked the Voyager uniforms. And then in Enterprise they went back to jumpsuits, kind of, which is what Discovery was doing those first 3 seasons, really. That was weird, but also it made sense. They're like, oh, it's kind of like they're what the hell is it called? Anyway, they're not mechanics. I knew a lot of mechanics in the day that wore jumpsuits just like that. Anyway, they're not mechanics. I knew a lot of mechanics in the day that wore jumpsuits just like that. Anyway, they're not mechanics. I knew a lot of mechanics in the day that wore jumpsuits just like that. Anyway, they're not mechanics. I knew a lot of mechanics in the day that wore jumpsuits just like that. Anyway, they're not mechanics. I knew a lot of mechanics in the day that wore jumpsuits just like that. Anyway, they're not mechanics. I knew a lot of mechanics in the day that wore jumpsuits just like that. Anyway, they're not mechanics. I knew a lot of mechanics in the day that wore jumpsuits just like that. Anyway, they're not mechanics. I knew a lot of mechanics in the day that wore jumpsuits just like that. Anyway, they're not mechanics. I knew a lot of mechanics in the day that wore jumpsuits just like that. Anyway, they're not mechanics. I knew a lot of mechanics in the day that wore jumpsuits just like that Archmage says, so are you saying it's a time loop sort of situation? I think there's going to be a lot of time travel going on in season 3. Pure prediction. It's just a pure prediction that there's going to be a lot of time travel. I just have a feeling that there's some time travel coming up. And I think they're going to address time travel in different ways. It could be with the multiphasic planet. I think Isaac is probably, at this point, probably has been able to make something with what used to be the anti-banana ray that can have them be doing some legit time travel. Like, oh, the ship can travel through time, or this experimental shuttle pod can travel through time. I don't know if the entire ship's going to go through travel through time this season, but I think at least some of the crew are going to. And I know there's another Western Day episode going on. You know, remember in one of the episodes, it might have been, I can't remember exactly what episode it was, but you know, Ed, Gordon, and John were in like a Old West type environmental simulator program. Well, there's another Western type thing happening next season, but I don't know if it's an eSIM thing or if it's an actual time travel thing. But there's, you know, in Tomorrow, when Ed was so adamant about, don't tell me about time travel, nobody understands it, blah, blah. It was such a big to-do that he made out of talking about time travel that I'm like, yeah, we got to do some more time travel stuff. Also, with the fact that they had an entire alternate timeline in the season 2 finale, how are you going to top that? Well, more time travel stuff. And the consequences of time travel. 7 Miles Project, what?
Really? This is my job? How did I win at life? But I did. I've won. Yeah.
Thank you for helping to keep the lights on here at Egotastic FunTime, talking the Orville. It really is appreciated and very much, very, very helpful. All those donations, you guys. You guys have been so great over the years. Yeah, we need some more TOS miniskirts. I think season 4 of Discovery, everyone should be wearing miniskirts. Everyone, even Linus. Well, no, I guess it would be Strange New Worlds. Spock in a miniskirt. The season 3 onward TNG uniforms seem very sophisticated, especially with the Picard maneuver. Every time you get up. Don't talk to me about time. We don't have the time to talk about time. We don't have the time. That's from First Contact. A fistful of datas. That's right. You got to have those Western episodes. It was great. It was fun to see Ed, John, and Gordon. And I think it was even Bortus that came in to interfere at one point. I think it was complaining. Oh, that was about a girl, because Bortus came in, interrupted the program to complain that Dr. Claire wouldn't perform the sex change surgery on Topa. And he's like, I can't deal with this. I don't have the Orville Hero clicks. I keep forgetting about those. I mean, I probably wouldn't play them anyway, but I would have them and have them on a shelf or something like that. Gordon laughing hysterically. Oh my god! You guys, don't you guys get it? None of you have figured it out. It's us. We caused this. The multiphasic planet is Kalon. Yes, I think it's a self-fulfilling prophecy type thing. If Kelly never caused problems on that multiphasic planet, Isaac never would have stayed there for 700 years. They never would have gotten a taste for androidness and created their own androids if it wasn't for that, thus creating the artificial Kalon that wants to kill everybody, all sentient life in the galaxy. If that didn't happen, the huge threat of the galaxy wouldn't have happened. So it's a great sci-fi trope. I mean, classic sci-fi, almost all the beginning of sci-fi is all about man's creations destroying man. Going back to the very first science fiction novel, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, which is a sci-fi novel. It's the very first sci-fi novel, and that's man's creation destroying man. That's what Frankenstein, that's what the monster was. A man used technology and lightning to create a new life form And that life form instantly starts killing other people. There was a Western episode in Star Trek Enterprise in the episode called North Star. Oh, yeah. Wasn't that somehow related to... No, couldn't have been related. Well, it could have been related in reversed chronological order. Yeah, there was a Western episode. Didn't they come across some planet that was all, Wild West themed, but it wasn't humans, it was some other planet? I can't remember. All the miniskirts, all the time. The length of this skirt is highly illogical, Captain. Yeah, I blame a lot of stuff on caffeine as well. Yeah, I love all these futuristic sci-fi shows that have time travel, because they just use it to go to times that we all recognize. They all go to the Wild West or the modern day times. Sometimes they'll go to Roman times a little bit. They always go to World War II times. Gotta get you a little Nazi action in those sci-fi shows. You like Spectre of the Gun from the original series? That was Western. Well, Star Trek, the original series, was basically supposed to be a space Western. Because Westerns were the most popular genre of television back in those days. Yeah, every Firefly episode was a Western. Yep. Firefly. The Frankenstein atomic bomb is the ultimate expression of reductio ad absurdum. Reductio ad absurdum. Wait, let me go get my Harry Potter wand. Reductio ad absurdum. Take that. I have a Harry Potter wand made out of vibranium. What? The planet Enterprise was made of humans stolen from Earth during the old West days, plus the native aliens who they overflew and enslaved. Okay, that's ringing some bells. What's up, Sugar Plum? What does that make us? Big damn heroes. We just watched that on the last week. We watched that last Friday on Egotastic FunTime, the Twitch watch party, because we do watch party every Friday. Yeah, we watched those episodes. It was a great story, but also, yeah, there was some cringe moments. But that's the case for almost anything that takes place in the 90s. Almost. I just watched the other day, and I watch it like every year because it's one of my favorite movies. Singles. You know the movie Singles with Matt Dillon and the Borg Queen and others. And Chris Cornell and Pearl Jam and Alice in Chains. I introduced that movie to my girlfriend. She's like, "Oh my god, that was so good!" But yeah, that's the most '90s movie ever made. Wagon train to the stars, as they say. Yes, their western planet had a human colony and alien Skags colony. The Skags, the Gilliac trash. Andromeda did its last season in the Western setting. That was the whole new level of bad. Like Michael Jackson bad? Or the other kind of bad? Like a bad review. The weird thing about time travel episodes is they almost always end up in the United States if it's to a contemporary timeline. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Always in the United States. That's true. You got to know your audience, I guess. Sci-fi audiences love America. They love going to New York. Always New York. Reductio ad absurdum is reducing things to an absurd level. War thus equals kill them all. It's the Frankenstein story, but on a grotesquely huge scale. I get it. That's what this would be. If Kelly indirectly actually created the Kalon, who would have seen that coming? Yeah, just once I'd like to see a random town somewhere else. I mean, I've seen random towns, but they're always in America. So it'd be nice to say, hey, let's go to España. Let's go to Germany. Well, if they go to Germany, it'd be World War II. That's just how it always is. If they went to London, it would be World War II during the Blitz. That's just how that's done. Let's just get some weird town in Denmark. Let's just do that. Rants from Canada. Hey, there's sci-fi in Canada. Hell yeah, there is. They go back in time to Toronto. Genuinely realistic sci-fi is too frightening. We watch fiction to get away from reality, not to be reminded of it, right? We used to. I like big ideas, even when they mirror stuff that's going on in our own world. I love it when sci-fi takes that on and, does new things with it, or shows you where these types of things might go or could go if we don't do something about it. We have to do something. But yeah, when it comes to the Orville, I'm very much looking forward to where we're going. I know there's some sort of football scene next season. I don't know exactly what it's about. I have no idea. This came out like over a year ago. There's some sort of football thing going on. I have no idea if it takes place on an environmental simulator, another time, another planet, the Caliban messing with the crew. I have no idea. Nike should make sci-fi just do it. Just ... do it. They could do it in William Shatner voice. Dark Matter was filmed in Ontario, but they set the town in Wisconsin. Although 3 learning French during his time loop and signing the old French-Canadian ditty was fun as heck. It's fun as heck, eh? Reminds me of the EP of Enterprise where they were tossing a football in the cargo bay of that freighter. Oh, yeah. That was a Travis episode, wasn't it? Travis Mayweather. When it always came to freighters, it was always Travis Mayweather. Shut up, Mayweather. Every time Mayweather... I chose Mayweather to be the Wesley of the NX-01. I always choose somebody on every series to be the Wesley. So, of course, it was Jake on DS9, which is a very direct parallel. And then on Voyager, I was like, shut up, Harry Kim. DS9, I was like, shut up, Jake. And then on Enterprise, I was, shut up, Travis. Shut up, Saru. Ooh, I didn't look into that, Sugar Plum. Sugar Plum says, did you see any comment that the Gently Falling Rain, which is an episode next season on the Orville, might have something to do with the short story, The Long Rain? No, I didn't look into The Long Rain. I just looked into everything I could find that had Gently Falling Rain. I didn't come across that. I'll have to check that out. Do an episode of Star Trek going to a casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. Well, they did have what was it? Casino Royale episode? No, the Royale. It was just called the Royale. in The Next Generation. I don't know if it was in Vegas. It was probably a southern casino somewhere type of thing. But it'd be cool to have a legit Las Vegas adventure with Star Trek. I want to see that with the Orville. The Orville will have more fun with it. Sci-fi that takes place in our time happens in the U.S. or England. If it's an English production, usually America is L.A. It's cheaper to shoot near the studio. I want to see the story in Montreal. Yeah, hell yeah. Give some Montreal some time, damn it. That's where they film stuff there now. Actually, a lot of the New York stuff that we see was shot in downtown Los Angeles. There's a couple areas that if you frame the camera just right, it looks just like New York. Little too close to Skid Row for my taste, though. Yeah, nothing rolls off the tongue like, shut up, Wesley. You know, just as a comparison.
Shut up, Wesley.
Shut up, Wesley. Yeah, good old underutilized Mayweather. I remember somebody saying Mayweather was underutilized in season 4 or something like that. But then I went back and watched season 4. He's got tons of stuff to do in season 4. But I agreed with that. I was like, yeah, he didn't do anything. But then I went back and watched it. I'm like, oh, damn, he's got storylines and everything. Babylon 5. I've only caught a few episodes of Babylon 5 back in the day when it was on TV. It was on during that time where I was just hanging out with friends. You know, I was in high school. I wasn't watching as much television. And then I never went back once streaming became a thing, or DVDs or whatever. I never went back and caught up on it. But I have caught a few episodes recently. Actually, I watched 2 episodes 2 weeks ago. And then a couple episodes the month before that because I was doing some work with Patricia Tallman and I was running some of her Babylon 5 watch parties. And so I watched a few episodes then. It's great. It's a great show. The effects are very different. It was like the beginning of digital effects. It was the first sci-fi show with CG space effects. And so that was a little weird, but the stories are really good. The acting is great, but the situations sometimes are a little... Certain characters are a little more old school, soap opera style, dialogues and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's pretty badass. But man, that's a lot of TV to go back and watch at this point. But yeah, I've enjoyed the few episodes this year that I've watched, which would be about 5 or 6 altogether. Good afternoon, T. Stoney. How are things in Oklahoma? Well, they've been chilly for a while. It's chilly today, a little chilly, a little rainy. It's supposed to be chilly and rainy tomorrow. Keep waiting for spring to get here so that, it warms up a little bit so I can get up. Because what I'm going to be doing once the weather, for all summer and probably early fall, because it's still pretty warm in early fall, get up every morning and walk for about an hour, hour and a half. Do about 3 miles every day to go along with my fasting. I fell behind on my weight loss the last couple months. You get into a relationship, you start, oh yeah, let's have dinner, let's make dinner, let's have some drinks, blah 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 blah, and you kind of lose track of weight loss goals. Just like Kelly and Tala told Claire when it came to about getting into a relationship with Isaac. And so I lost a little bit of track, but now I'm back on it. So I'm feeling a lot better, but I want to get out there, get outside, and do some outside stuff. But it's so chilly and rainy and nasty. The story of Battlestar of Babylon 5 is a bit whack. I mean, the overall history story. I watched B5 and almost bailed after season 1, but a friend convinced me to go on, and it got better. Yeah, people that love Babylon 5 are hardcore in love with Babylon 5. Apparently got some great story arcs going on and some very deep stuff going on. But yeah, I've watched more episodes of Babylon 5 this year than I have in my entire life. Gently Falling Rain might be a reference to The Dreamer, a poem by Juna Barnes. Ooh. Man, our stupid internet wasn't giving me all these links. I'll have to look into that because being based on a poem is much more likely something the Orville would do. I mean, but it could just be a line from some standard song that Seth MacFarlane likes. We'll have to see, because Happy Refrain was taken, I believe, from a lyric in Singing in the Rain. And then they added that in there. Dun, 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 dun. Ah, okay. You're doing 20 by 4, where you fast for 20 hours and you have a 4-hour feeding window. I did that a few times when I first started. If you start doing intermittent fasting, you guys, it gets real easy real fast. Took me a while to start. I thought about it for a month before I started. Because I was like, there's no way I can go all day. I mean, not all day, but, the evening without having something to eat. I'm so bored at night, blah, 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 blah. I did it once. I was like, oh, that was easy. And I just kept doing it. So today, I ate at noon. I was thinking of maybe having that be my last meal today. Because I had like a couple pieces of pizza. I'm like, it's probably a lot of calories. I could probably just stop eating for the rest of the day. And then I'll start eating, tomorrow late morning. And that'll be close to 20 hours. Gently Falling Rain kind of makes me think of like a noir film too. Yeah, absolutely. Maybe a Dixon Hill sort of thing. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I mean, Gently Falling Rain, like someone has already said, could be another nod towards Blade Runner. That whole ending scene that was taking place in the rain, but I don't think that was Gently Falling Rain, was it? I can't remember. I like to think it's a reference to some sort of poem or some sort of song or, theory, something like that. The Orville's really good at taking a little piece of something and turning it into a title. Yeah, 16:8's really good. Even 16:8 will work. Where you just don't eat for 16 hours, which is very easy. You just go to sleep. Go to bed at night. That's 8 hours right there. Don't eat a few hours before bed. Don't eat a few hours after bed. Boom, you'll get your 16 hours in real fast. And then you have 8 hours to eat. Try to eat healthy. If you, a little bit healthy. You don't have to go crazy. Good question. Did Babylon 5 have 5 seasons? I can't remember. I don't think they did a full 7, did they? I mean, you guys would know. More than I would know. As long as it's not a reference to the rain in the movie Black Rain. Black Rain. Yeah, I highly recommend intermittent fasting. It's very easy. Yeah, it's that autophagy. I'm all about autophagy. Autophagy is self-eating. Autophagy is the only way to get younger. If you don't eat long enough, your body goes into autophagy, where instead of where it starts eating the fat, of course, but also it starts recycling your cells. It's the only way to get new brain cells. If you do autophagy will get you new brain cells. And autophagy is what you want. So the longer you can go, the more autophagy you get. All right, Sugar Plum. We'll see you next time. Okay, Babylon 5 was 5 seasons and 6 movies with a spinoff. What? I didn't know that. T-Stone says fasting autophagy combined with apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar is very good before you go to bed. Is the bomb, yo. I was like, why don't they create a froyo that's apple cider vinegar flavor? You know, mix apple cider vinegar with a little bit of water if you have a hard time with it. I'm able just to take a shot of apple cider vinegar, but, you know, it is pretty, like, oh, gosh. That's harder than whiskey. Mix a little water, softens it up a little bit. DS9 was a spin-off of Babylon 5 because they both take place on a big old station, right? Until you hit 36 hours, then you have some other issues. Yeah, like, where's my food, damn it? If you don't give me food, I'm going to kill you! much higher chance of being put in jail and getting arrested at the 36-hour mark. Babylon 5 had 5 seasons, but there was a point at which it might not have happened. So J. Michael pushed a few of the 5th seasons into the 4th. Then they weren't canceled at the end of season 4, so they were able to keep on going. Crusade was a Babylon 5 spinoff. They probably have a apple cider vinegar flavored ice cream in Japan. Yeah, Japan experiments with all the flavors, you guys. There's a restaurant here, I think, called Flavors of Japan. They got all the flavors. Okay. Favorite Orville episode, says Darth Thor. All right, so everybody, let's find out what everyone's favorite Orville episode is. Darth Thor says mine is Firestorm or The Road Not Taken. Mine is Mad Idolatry. It used to be, well, there's so much great stuff in season 2, but for the longest time, season 1, my favorite episode, and this is probably the least remembered episode, but the episode If the Stars Should Appear, which I think was written by Brandon Braga, I think, if I recall, maybe, and then that was my favorite because I just loved the fact that there was a bioship and nobody knew they were on a bioship because they were there forever. And the Orville says, hey, you're on a bioship. They're like, stupid. No, we're not. And they're like, check it. Look at, we're going to open the windows. What? This universe has windows? No way. I guess we are on a bioship. So that was my favorite for a while. And then after Mad Idolatry, I was like, okay, that's my favorite. It might still be my favorite. Even after all the amazing stuff that happened in season 2. Favorite episode is the Go Dolly Oh No episode. Sanctuary. That's the...
She speaks with the might of 100 soldiers.
That she does. Yeah, I've seen classic Battlestar Galactica. I mean, it's been a million years, but yeah. 1980 and before. About a Girl, Identity Part 1 and 2, and Nothing Left on Earth Excepting Fishes. That's a good episode. That's a Talia episode. I'm hoping we see Talia again. I think Talia is one of those characters where she's going to be back. Mad Idolatry, says Roberta. Jonathan R. says, not sure yet, maybe Home. Home is the 3rd episode from season 2 where Alara goes back home and stays there. Great episode. I love that it was a story that came out of nowhere. That whole thing with Robert Picardo and John Billingsley, that whole story was a whole other story having nothing to do with the Orville or space or anything. It was just a thing that was going on, and man, it was great. And that was some of Robert Picardo's best acting that I've seen from him. At the end of that episode, when he just showed so much regret for the relationship he created with his daughter. He's so regretful and so ashamed, and it really came out. And that's the best acting I've ever seen from Robert Picardo. I mean, I haven't seen everything he's done. I've seen a few things outside of Voyager, and then a lot of Voyager. Yeah, if Talia returns with Ed's Krill Kid. Firestorm was pretty awesome, especially when they had the twist. Oh, it's a holodeck episode? What? That makes sense. Jacob says, road not taken is mine. Yeah. That was our last episode that we've watched. And wow, that was a jaw-dropper episode. That was like, what show am I watching? I remember when that episode premiered. I mean, we did the watch party, the pre-show watch party. I'm like, okay, it's starting. And I watched it, I'm like, oh my God. They're playing the wrong show. This isn't the Orville, and all of a sudden Ed and Gordon are there. I'm like, it's the Orville. What? What's happening? Robert Picardo was the gym teacher in the Wonder Years. What would you do if I sang out of tune? Yeah, let's just hope there won't be a hobo clown returning in the Orville. Where there's a hobo clown somewhere in the environmental simulator data files. There's a hobo clown in the data files somewhere. Back with beer and a double cheeseburger. What? I had a cheeseburger yesterday. It was so yummy. I was just sitting here doing work, minding my own business. My girlfriend comes home from work. She says, here, I got you a cheeseburger. I'm like, what? That's so cool. I'm going to eat it. So many critics got mad at About a Girl because it didn't go where they wanted. That's one thing I love about the Orville. They take the thing that probably would really happen and they go with that, as opposed to the thing that everybody wants to happen. The thing that everybody wants to happen in real life usually doesn't happen. It's usually the thing that they don't want to happen that happens. And I thought the Orville had a lot of balls to go that direction. Yeah, why should it go the way you want it to go, especially when it's about an alien culture? I think the fact that it didn't go where we wanted it to go was a huge lesson that got people to think about, social stuff in our own world a little bit more seriously. Sometimes I think Bortus and Gordon should not be allowed to the simulator anymore. Yeah, Bortus is a little bit part of the Gordon and John eSIM club. In the Firestorm episode when Alara was in the eSIM gym punching out that punching bag, John and Gordon came in wearing, 17th century dueling attire because they booked time in the eSIM, and they said, oh, Alara's got it right now. Why don't you guys come back later? And they're like, fine, what's the point of making an appointment? And then Bortus comes in. He was going to join them. I would like to see what kind of adventures the three of them have. Well, depends on the adventure. We know how Bortus goes. Don't let Bortus pick the theme that day. It was totally a huge lesson. It was also to tell us that the show was not always going to do the easy story. Absolutely. And even in the Krill episode, the episode 6, season 1, Krill, where they ended up killing all the Krill at the end, but the children were left behind. And, Talia was left behind. And she's like, why didn't you kill the children? And Ed's like, they're just children. They're just kids. They're not my enemy. And she goes, well, after what they saw you do today, they will be. They will be. And I'm like, ooh, damn, that's dark. That's dark. And the Orville had balls to do that. I don't think Star Trek always had the balls to do that. Usually Star Trek would have the happy ending at the end. Not always. Sometimes they went damn, didn't work out. But for the most part, it had a happy ending at the end. Not the Orville doesn't do that. They do kind of what the realistic, probably what would happen ending. I have no idea what the Union has. They must have some sort of constitution or charter or something. The First Amendment is called the Wheaton Proclamation, and it states thusly: "Don't be a dick." It says it right there, big bold cursive letters. If I started a country, that would be the very first decree. Don't be a dick. Unless you're hangry. If you're hangry, then allowances can be made. About a Girl with Seth and co telling us, don't let the toilet jokes fool you. We're making serious sci-fi here, damn it. Yeah, absolutely. First 2 episodes were kind of fun, regular sci-fi, but check this one out. The Prime Erection. Robert Picardo was also in Star Trek Renegades, a Star Trek fan film. I didn't see Renegades, but I have seen pictures of Picardo in Renegades. Jonathan Perez, you just got your Fauci ouchie. Still need that second shot. All right. Make sure you show up for it, and then 2 weeks after that, you'll be fully immunized. I've been fully immunized for like a week or two, and it's the most liberating feeling. It's the most liberated I've ever felt in my entire life. That'll give you a prime erection. Ba-donch. Yeah, they do have a yes, they don't call it the Prime Directive. I can't remember. I don't know if they ever gave it an official name, but it was mentioned in Mad Idolatry. Kelly mentioned some sort of, oh yeah, I know the rule about not interfering with non-advanced societies. They have some sort of rule on that. I don't know if it's been fully addressed or named or anything like that, or they don't have a nickname for it yet. Ooh, Dr. Scott Giles, that's a tough question for me. Hey, JP, comedy or sci-fi? What's the best? Personally, I would have to go, okay, if you could take comedy or sci-fi with you on a desert island, which one would you choose? I would probably choose comedy. That's a tough question. That's why I always like sci-fi with comedy in it. Which a lot of good sci-fi out there does. Even Star Trek has some great comedy in it that it's underrated. But Star Trek has some great comedy. So I would either take comedy or I'd take sci-fi that has some comedy in it. The Fire Dragon. I can't wait for season 3. Will be nice to have a show that isn't trying to force woke garbage on us instead of a story. I don't know. The Orville does that too. There's so much wokeness in the Orville. It's just we're not mad at it, so we kind of let it. We absorb it. That's my opinion. About a Girl is the episode, which is a very woke story. About a Girl is the episode that made me love the Orville. There was no right answer. Yeah, no right answer. That's one thing I've said about that episode is they give you 2 sides. One that you probably agree with and one that you don't. But it's not telling you which one is the right answer. It's just telling you both sides so you can understand both sides. And then you choose for yourself. I'm watching Resident Alien. I'm going to be doing a video about Resident Alien on my secondary channel, Egotastic 2. Kind of just talking about, hey, why aren't you guys watching Resident Alien? But I haven't seen the last 3 episodes yet because I think I have access to all 3 of them, but on my computer somewhere. But I've been watching it on Peacock, and Peacock just put out the 8th episode. And then 2 more episodes. Maybe I'll try to see them earlier so I can start talking about it sooner. I don't have to finish this season to talk about it, I guess. That would also be fun. It's like I don't know where it's going. Though I know where it's at this moment. I've seen 7 episodes. There's 3 more to go. Yeah, Isaac tried to remind Kelly about interfering with the primitive culture, but she got pissy. That's his words, not even your words. Very good, Julie. Julie remembered that dialogue very well from that episode. Isaac said she was being pissy. Yeah, Star Trek humor is usually quite subtle most of the time, not just in for the short, fast laugh. Well, unless it's a Data episode trying to learn about comedy. Put Joe Piscopo in there, they're going for the short laugh, the quick laugh. But yes, I see what you're saying. Absolutely, Manfred. Orville isn't woke. Calling it woke would be like putting insult sticker on it. Woke can't do good story and characters. Depends on who's watching it. That's what I say. Because everyone's got a different opinion. You'll say one thing's woke and the other person's like, wow, that really spoke to me. It all depends on the viewer. It's different for everybody. I'm not trying to be devil's advocate, because I usually find devil's advocate isn't usually welcome in most situations. Everybody's like, to be the devil's advocate, I'm like, nobody cares. But yeah, I just see so many different people saying opposite things about the same content that I've just started, listening to both of those opinions to see what I thought about it. I was like, oh, okay, different people see things differently. Yeah, I mean, good sci-fi has always been woke. It just depends on how we receive it, where we're at in our own lives. A lot of people thought the original series Star Trek was way too woke, even though that word didn't exist then. But they were getting pretty pissed about stuff that was woke for the time. But we didn't have those issues because, a lot of us didn't have those issues. That's why we watched and loved the show in the first place. So we didn't see it the same way that other people were being put off by it. Hiroshi loves you. What? Thank you so much, Hiroshi. Hiroshi loves you for keeping the lights on here at Egotastic FunTime. Those two lights especially. Those are important lights. They bring color to this entire room, and that's because of you. So thank you very much, Hiroshi. You just paid the lights throughout the entire house. Much appreciated. JP, do you think we will see Charlie Burke at least once this season hug the donkey? I hope not. I want the young cadet to stay young on these shows. But I don't know. I bet you we see Claire hug the donkey next season. Maybe Tala will hug the donkey. I don't know. I hope Charlie doesn't hug the donkey, even though she's quite of age to do so. But I don't know her character yet. I don't know her personality yet. Maybe it's like, yeah, everybody's hugging donkeys on the Orville. John Burns, what? Oh, I already did that one. Let's do this one, you guys. John Burns, don't worry about that last one.
Oh my God.
That's for you. I enjoyed the movie Thunder Force. I did too. And it made me laugh because there's a great show named Corner Gas where the lead remembers his old high school band called Thunderface. Check it out on Netflix. Yeah, I watched Thunder Force. I thought it was fun. It probably wouldn't have been a movie that I wanted to go into the theater and see, but I watched it at home on Netflix, and it was a fun time. It's not a great movie, but it is a movie. If you want to have some fun and do some superhero stuff, it was fun. I enjoyed it. Rebel Scum.
Oh, wow. Sweet emotion.
Talking about cheeseburgers made me hangry. Whoa, I kind of want a cheeseburger right now as well, but I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it. 1,000 points of light. Do you think that Robert Picardo would return to Picard Season 2? I don't know if he is going to return, but I think he definitely would. If they say, hey, Robert Picardo, you want to act in Season 2 of Picard? He would absolutely say yes. And they should get him. We could have, a reunion with the Doctor and Seven. I don't know how long Seven's going to be in Season 2, if at all. Just because we saw her as on the bridge in the very last shot in Season 1 doesn't mean that they're not just going to drop her off somewhere and continue on. though it'd be cool to have 7. It would be great to see what her and the Doctor have to say to each other, because they were the biggest friends. The two of them were friends. They're having adventures together and learning from each other on Voyager. I didn't even think about that till you said that. Now I want that really bad.
Oh, wow. Sweet emotion.
John Burns.
Yeah, I like that. That's good. Yeah, you look like the guy who's on the list because you know the DJ.
If you don't like Nostalgia Critic, I understand. But he released the review of WW84, Wonder Woman 84, and he really brings up some interesting points. Check it out. Oh, maybe I will. I'm usually not into anything that's just complaining to complain, but Wonder Woman 84, while fun, wasn't a perfect movie in any sense of the word. I was bored with it, with Wonder Woman 84. I enjoyed Cheetah. That storyline was fun with Kristen Wiig. I enjoyed Pedro Pascal playing that weird car dealership villain. I enjoyed Steve Rogers. Is it Steve Rogers? That's Captain America. Are they both Steve Rogers? They're both Steve Rogers, right? I enjoyed Chris Pine, tripping out about the 80s. I wish they did a lot more with that. But the actual Wonder Woman stuff, her story, I didn't care about as much. I thought that the first Wonder Woman movie with her origin story was so good. So good that continuing on and just kind of reversing the situation a little bit, where now Steve is the one who's a fish out of water, just wasn't enough. But in the action, the action was okay. I don't care about action anymore. I just care about story. But, of course, that's not going to happen in blockbuster movies. It's about those pew-pews and explosions. I'm like, I don't care about those anymore. Unless they're done really well with a good story. And then I'm like, wow, look at the explosions. So cool. Steve Trevor. All these Steves. JP, do you think we will see what the Krill POW prison camp? Ooh. Now, a prison camp with humans in it that are controlled by the Krill, or vice versa? Is it a POW camp with Krill in it? Because I'm sure the Krill have human POWs, right? Because they're jerk faces and they just think we're animals anyway. But now they're learning differently. They're starting to realize, oh, maybe these animals are a little smarter than we thought. Maybe they got a little bit of soul inside of them for Avis to feed upon. I don't know. I think whatever questionable stuff the Krill have going on will probably be addressed now that we have a treaty with them in the 3rd season. Well, I know that we're diving deep into Krill's story, into the Krill universe in season 3. We're going to learn a lot more about the Krill. We're going to learn who they are as a people, not just the crazy religious stuff. It's going to be like, oh, we're going to see the humanity in the Krill in season 3. We're going to understand them a little bit more, and then it'll be up to us to decide if that's something that we empathize with or not. But the question is going to be more like, in the previous 2 seasons, the Krill's like, oh, are they like Al-Qaeda or something like that? No, the question in season 3 is like, oh, are they just us? Are they just us? They're just like us with a different point of view. So that's going to be the question in season 3. That I do know. Do you think, Jonathan says, do you think a Red Dwarf actor will ever have an appearance as a nod to other sci-fi comedy fans? Oh, no one ever picks up Red Dwarf actors for anything, right? I mean, it would be great to get, what's his name? Not Doug. Who plays Crichton? Something Llewellyn. It's not Doug Llewellyn, is it? Is it Doug Llewellyn? I know it's Llewellyn. It'd be great to see him pop up. The Orville is so good at grabbing guest actors from other sci-fi series. and having them do a little thing. Let's get some Red Dwarf in there. That would be just an amazing cameo that almost most Americans won't pick up on. Checking my emails. Checking my emails. Talia was cute. Talia as a krill or Talia as a human, which her name was Janelle Tyler, I believe. Played by Michaela McManus, who is, a gorgeous woman. Great actor. Really great actor. So they got to bring her back. They really left us to believe at the end of Nothing Left on Earth Excepting Fishes that we would see her again. Because she's always a woman to Ed. Robert Llewellyn, that's it. Kelly Carjola, or is it Carola? I'm going to say Carjola. Kelly, anyway, thank you so much. Very much appreciate it.
Hey, there you go. See, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, JP, remember the episode Majority Rule? I would love to see Lysella again, the one with the long curly hair. I wish she should come back somehow. Cute. That would be a great follow-up. Now that we see at least her, at least that one character on that planet, the Majority Rule planet, now see that majority rule people are idiots. You don't want Majority Rule. You see Majority Rule, unless it has to do with, what we're going to eat next week. And then everyone says we should have chicken. Okay, let's have chicken. But you don't want making every single decision. Now that she sees that something like the news feed, the Twitter, government by Twitter, is a bad thing, and she finally just turned off the feed and is going to enjoy her life a little bit, kind of like shutting off the internet for a little bit, which I think we can all do. It's good for all of us. I do it. I try to do it every single weekend. I try to just turn off the internet and just not use it. It's helped me out greatly with my brain and my blood pressure, to be honest with you. See her again. See how she's evolved over the last couple of years. See if her planet has changed at all, or if she's become some sort of activist against the news feed. Wouldn't that be interesting? I mean, we only get a few episodes every season of most shows nowadays, so they really have to pick and choose what certain things they would want to bring back, as opposed to having a new adventure and a new situation with the new people and a new way to hold up a mirror to society, which is what all good sci-fi does. Very much would like to see what they bring back, because they're going to have new adventures, but they are going to be bringing back old favorites next season. I know that for a fact. That's official. We don't know which ones. Obviously, we know that the About a Girl storyline is going to be updated with the episode A Tale of Two Topas. Plus, that's the only way to... Because that's the whole Bortus Clyden issues in their marriage situation goes back to that episode. And it was brought back again in Primal Urges episode, which actually was supposed to be a season 1 episode, but they had to cut it from the season because the effects weren't ready yet. They're like, we need more time with these effects, so let's just pull this episode. We'll add another scene to it to make it fit. So they added a Topa scene so they can make it fit season 2, and then they put it in season 2. Which is why a lot of people thought season 2 was Mocklin heavy, even though it wasn't supposed to be. It's just that other Mocklin episode was supposed to be in the previous season. John Burns.
Just a walk in the park, Kazansky.
Will you be ochoing Dark Matter? By the time you do a video on Dark Matter, it will be on the Egotastic FunTime channel number 8. Yeah, it'll probably be a while before I get to Dark Matter. Maybe I'll try to watch one episode of Dark Matter and then do a video on that, just so I can get a head start on it. That video will probably be on the Egotastic FunTime, Egotastic 2 channel. Because I want to do a couple of videos a week on that channel, but they're going to be more laid back, podcast style videos. Archmage says, given the choice and taking current shows into account, would you rather see a Trek actor take a role on the Orville or reprise their role on a new Trek show? I would love to see. I'd have them do both. But if it's a Trek actor reprising a role, I would say yes if it's on the Picard series. Yes if it's on Picard. Otherwise, love to see them take on a role in the Orville. But the Orville isn't really giving out super great roles. They're giving out fun cameos and guest appearances really quick. But nothing juicy. Nothing like Priya. Priya was a juicy role to take on in an episode. Whereas, they brought on Tim Russ, which was great to see Tim Russ's face aboard the Orville. But it was just a quick little, character real quick to kind of just get the story started with the artifacts that they found. Marina Sirtis is the school teacher on the Orville, but she didn't really have anything super meaty to take on. It was a very simple role. Great to see her. So when you see Star Trek people on the Orville, it's been more eye candy. I would love to give them a real role. Well, Picardo's got a juicy role. John Billingsley had a juicy role. That juicy roll, juicy roll. What about a new addition for Bortus and Clyden? Like Bobby Brown? Bobby Brown was a new addition. I don't think Bortus and Clyden need anything else. We need to get the new addition needs to be Clyden adjusting his damn attitude. Clyden, adjust your attitude. But I guess they could if they engage in the sexual event and somebody is dropping an egg. It could happen again. What if they have another egg and it's another female? What? What do they do? I know what Bortus is going to do. I know what Clyden's going to want to do. Yeah, all the good Orville roles are reserved for Trek doctors. Oh, let's get Bashir on there to be a really awesome Selayan. Maybe all Trek doctors get to play a Selayan. That would be awesome. Kelly Carjola, what?
I am told your people are known for creating some of the most sought-after pornographic simulations in the galaxy.
I heard that. JP, I am Kelly from Vancouver, from Twitch. Hey! Do you remember me from your stream a few weeks ago? I live near Portland. Yes, I remember that. And you're like, not that Vancouver, the other Vancouver. And yes, absolutely. My last name pronounces the J. All right, Carjola. Carjaloja. Sushinator, whoop whoop. Stephen Klein says, JP, do you think we will see if the astronomical zodiac planet figure? Oh, that's another great planet to return to. That the star the Orville made was a fake, and if so, what would be the fallout from that? Well, hopefully, I don't think we'll see that next season. Though, yeah, they set up that fake star to trick them with the astrological stuff. They said, at their current technological level, they won't be able to tell it's fake. But Kelly and Ed are like, yeah, eventually they will be able to figure out it's fake. And I think it was Kelly that said, yeah, hopefully eventually by then things would have changed enough where when they figure out it's fake, they just won't care. They won't care because they advanced and they stopped being stupid and putting people in concentration camps for their birth signs. Stupid Gilliac trash. Though I get it. Gilliac trash are pretty lame people. But, but that's the system. That's systemic. They think they were born trashy, so they're going to act trashy. I don't think we'll see them next season, but I would love a follow-up. I'd love a follow-up on every race we've visited. I'd like to know more about the Retepsians, the Derulios out there. The sexy Rigel planet where they're just doing it and doing it and doing it well. Side note, most Retepsians have chlamydia, just like koalas. Yeah, if she's still the teacher next year, maybe Marina's role will become juicy. Hot older woman school teacher pursues a main cast member. Dan? What if Marina Sirtis and Dan start a relationship next season? What? That's what I'm talking about, you guys.
Love is the fish hook that hooks the fish.
Man, I gotta drink some water. Yeah, from the other Vancouver. Not the Canadian one. At least they haven't gone the way of, you are such a woman. No, you are. You're the one with a case of the tits today. Between Bortus and Clyden. Clyden used to be so great and so fun and interesting before he became a bigot. It's like when you grow up and you find out what your Uncle Charles really thinks about the world. The Blue Juicers. That's the name of their basketball team. The Portland-Vancouver area is blessed with Orville fans. Yay! There's a lot of Orville fans out there. People that aren't necessarily even part of like a community like this of hardcore Orville fans, but they still love the Orville. I found out that my girlfriend's mom loves the Orville. She's like, oh, the Orville, I love that show. But she's not part of any fandom. She doesn't do online stuff. John Burns, prepare thyself.
I wish to bring you erotic pleasure. Let us experience this sexual event.
On the eSIM. How about Sylvester McCoy, Doctor Who? Playing a doddering old doctor who's a former mentor of Dr. Penny. Knock, Penny, knock, Penny, knock. He could be what did he play? Lord of the Rings. He was Radagast the Brown. Did he play Radagast in not the Orville, in Lord of the Rings? I want to say Radagast. I would like to see Robert Duncan Mcneil in the Orville, and also Dominic Keating, as well as Linda Park. Yeah, we'll get some Voyager mixed in with some Enterprise there. That'd be amazing. Now, Robert Duncan Mcneil, of course, has directed a few episodes of the Orville. He won't be directing... He directed the Gilliac episode, Nothing Left... No, All the World is Birthday Cake. He directed that episode. And he directed Command Performance in Season 1. Would love to see him in front of the camera. He won't be directing in Season 3 because only Seth MacFarlane and John Cassar are directing all the episodes of Season 3. Jonathan Frakes said he would love to play an alien on the Orville, and he was disappointed that he's not able to direct this season because he loves the show, but he gets it. They want to have a unified vision throughout the entire season, and because they're basically making a huge 11-hour movie. Even though it's episodic, it'll be, stuff from previous seasons will be coming up, so you gotta make sure you watch those first 2 seasons. I'm sure everybody here has already. But if you haven't, if you're one of those people out there, if you know somebody that likes the Orville but they haven't really watched every episode, get them to watch every episode because it might come in handy in Season 3. But yeah, we'd love to see some of these directors in front of the camera. Would love to see Jonathan Frakes show up as some weird alien. Really go heavy on the makeup where we don't even recognize him. John Burns!
Weird how some guys can treat a woman that way and somehow just not be bothered by it.
Yeah, that's cool. Not be bothered by it. You want to see Frakes play the trombone again? That's what she said. Badunch. Yeah, he really plays a little bit, right? Doesn't he?
Sweet emotion.
Have you noticed that the Orville phased out the comedy and started trending towards becoming serious sci-fi in the 2nd season? I hope that continues. Oh, it very much will. I noticed it in the episode in the Season 1. I noticed it in the episode Into the Fold, where Claire and Isaac and the boys get trapped on that planet after they go into the glory hole. That was the first episode that really upped the drama and made the jokes secondary, and it continued on from there for the most part. And then, yeah, the goal of Season 2, they said, was to up the drama. Seth MacFarlane wanted the entire series to be a drama when he pitched it, But he knew that Fox, from him, they would say it has to be comedy if it's from you, Seth. So he put comedy in there, always planning to phase it out as things went onward. Yeah, Clyden, I love Clyden, but yeah, he's everybody's least favorite character. He really holds up a mirror to people that we all have in our lives, right? I was glad that him and his plant were destroyed in the other timeline in the last episode of season 2. But Topa got killed too. We assumed that Clyden and Topa were destroyed by those stupid Kalon Bastardos. Oh, Frank's playing an ex of Vortis. Yeah, they wouldn't do that on the show. I'm pretty sure the Orville is keen on having African American roles for all Mocklins. But maybe Frakes would be a good Retepsian, hitting on the ladies and the boys. You know how Retepsians are. Of course, I would just love to see him play Kelly's father, but he'd be human. I know he's keen on being an alien. JP, I would love. Oh yeah, me too. I would love Scott Bakula reprise his role as Sam Beckett, and he leaps into one of the crew to save the ship and the crew member. But we as the audience never realize it until the very end that was Sam Beckett the entire time. Yeah, that was a huge problem with season 1. Fox hardcore advertised the Orville as basically being Galaxy Quest. And it wasn't that at all. From the first episode, it wasn't that. But Fox didn't know what to do with it. And they've done that to other shows as well. And yeah, that was one of the... And Seth MacFarlane has said that. A huge disservice to the show was Fox didn't know how to advertise it. Because it's really... It is considered a drama. It's considered a dramedy. A drama with comedy in it. But the stories and the characters and the seriousness of a situation takes precedent over all the comedy in the show. Especially later on. Ooh, Jolene Blaylock would be a human or an alien on the Orville. Well, if we're going to pick one of the Orville universe aliens for Jolene Blaylock, I would totally choose a Chilean. I think Jolene Blaylock would be an awesome Chilean. Is she old enough to play Tala's mom? She'd be good to play Tala's mom or an aunt. I don't know how old Jolene Blaylock is. I don't know if it would work. Yeah, Fox loves taking on sci-fi and then screwing it up. I don't trust sci-fi on almost any primetime network. Like, I was worried way before the move to Hulu. I was like, oh man, a sci-fi show, and I like it, but it's on primetime network. That almost never works out. Not when it's a hardcore sci-fi show. Something that's sci-fi adjacent, you know, like a Fringe or something like that, where it's like still, it's today times, but you know, some weird things happen. Not as dangerous, but when you go hardcore sci-fi, very dangerous to put it on primetime. Because you have to go extremely general audiences with primetime, and they're just not ready for that yet. So sci-fi usually does much better on cable channels. John Burns!
Mocklins, many of them, ready to be adventurous.
Yeah, absolutely. Back in Time episode, Frakes is a number of white Mocklins. Bortus is all like Dorn saying, yeah, they were horrible branch of our ancestry. We do not like to talk about them. the Mocclasians. Like when we found out there was albino oh god, Andorians, yeah. There's albino Andorians? Would Jolene be throwing people into a decontamination chamber and then rubbing lotion on them? Yeah, we know what you were about, Jolene Blaylock. We know why they brought you onto the show. Turns out you were awesome, though. You turned out to be pretty good at playing a Vulcan when they let you play a Vulcan. Yeah, it's like a new sci-fi show. Will it make it to season 3, 4? Surely not 4. Yeah, on primetime. Now, Sci-Fi Network, they loved The Expanse, which is where The Expanse, it was the home of The Expanse, and the show was doing very well for them. And they loved the show, and they didn't give it they canceled it after the 3rd season because it was too expensive to make. They're like, we love the show, but it's just too expensive for us. So they got canceled, even though they thought the show was great. Luckily, Amazon stepped in and is giving us 3 more seasons altogether. 4, 5, and 6. I'm kind of thinking Kelly's father might be dead as well. I don't know for a fact, but it kind of seemed that way at the end of the pilot episode, right? Old Wounds. I believe Kelly's father is dead. By the way, Admiral Halsey said, your father and I were good friends, and I owe him one. The word part does make it seem like that's a possibility. If it was live, he would have said our friends. Well, maybe they just were friends, and they're not they weren't friends currently. There's a whole story behind that. But yeah, I agree with you. I kind of felt he was dead. I'm not sure. Or maybe they were friends back in the day, like at the academy or something like that. But they're not necessarily, their lives went to different directions, and he's not necessarily a close friend now, but he owes him something from the past. John Burns.
Tractor beam activated. It's pulling us in. Oh no!
After Dark Matter got canceled on Sci-Fi, no one trusts any sci-fi shows on Sci-Fi that are good for fear of them being canceled too early. Yeah, I don't trust any sci-fi shows on almost any networks. Streaming services seem to be a safer space, though that's not guaranteed as well. It's just tough for sci-fi. For any show on a primetime channel, you have to have big numbers. The Orville had great numbers, but you have to, if you want to have longevity, you have to be turning out those numbers every single week because it's all about that money and all about that advertising dollar. So, while the Orville was doing really well, it did just as well on Hulu. It got just as many views on Hulu as it did on Fox. And they're like, well, it's going to be a while. We're not going to be able to have season 3 finished by the time Fox wants us to have it finished. Also, Seth MacFarlane's like, I'm probably going to be leaving Fox and get a new contract, shopping around right now. So it'd be, but also the Orville is a priority for me. And so it's like, ooh, let's put it on Hulu, kind of like a little in between. It did just as well for the numbers. It'll give us freedom. It'll give us a bigger budget. We can do whatever we want. As the episodes can be as long as we want them to be. Super high quality. So that's what they did. But yes, but Fox still has skin in the game because the show is still filmed on Fox. Fox owns Hulu, and then Disney owns Fox. So Disney gets a little piece as well, even though it's, so it all works out for everybody. You're signing up for Hulu only because of the Orville? There's a lot of great stuff on Hulu, FYI. I would try doing, if you haven't already, Daniel, try out a free trial if you haven't done it yet, and just see if there's anything else you like. I watch everything on Hulu. I mean, all the stuff that I watch on Hulu. But, a lot of people already got the stuff that they like to watch on other places. They got the Disney Plus and the Netflix, and they got cable TV subscriptions. So I totally get it. Oh, Steven, that's a good one. Steven says, JP, I would love to see Lamar's parents this season. I would love his father to be played by LeVar Burton, who is... John Lamar's character is a tribute to Geordie LaForge, FYI, if you guys didn't already know that. And it's official. And his mom played by Betty White. Hell yeah! painted it a little bit. Is it back there? No. It's back there. It's back there, but it's sticking on a thing. I don't want to grab it. But yeah, my girlfriend saw it. She's like, I want to paint that. So she did do the black parts. She painted the black parts black. I'd like to do I would love to spray paint the whole thing metallic silver and then do the black. So I might still do that. She's really crafty at that sort of thing, so I'll let her do it. Yeah, I've only seen the Orville on Hulu. I didn't have live TV, so I just watched it next day or the middle of the night on Hulu. I hear a good thing about Solar Opposites. I haven't checked it out yet, but I do see it pop up on Hulu all the time. Did Sci-Fi have the exec that was into horror and paranormal and really shortchanged? Where did it go?
Wow.
Space shows for 5 years? I don't know. I didn't pay much attention to anything going on with any cable channel. I mean, I was paying attention to CBS for a while, but I don't even really do that anymore because I just got burned out on drama. I'm like, I want to talk about happy, fun stuff. I don't want to get into corporate drama and rumor after rumor after rumor. So I don't know. I especially didn't pay attention to Sci-Fi. I haven't had Sci-Fi in well over a decade. John Burns.
The tingles. I feel as if I have been standing my entire life and I just sat down.
Betty White getting some of that jungle fever. Jordan the Forge wants to host Jeopardy. LeVar Burton is going to be a guest host. It was just announced a day or two ago. He will be at least a guest host of Jeopardy later in the year. Hopefully, and I'm sure LeVar Burton is going to treat that as an audition. So if he does a great job with it, maybe they'll bring him on for the next season of Jeopardy to be, because, eventually, right now, to honor Alex, they're not replacing him just yet for this season. They're having guest hosts. Because they don't want to fill his shoes right away after all the service that he did on the show for decades and decades and decades. But I'm sure they'll eventually get an official host. Yeah, let's get me, because I love Jeopardy. Let's get LeVar Burton on there. He'd be a great host. Ken Jennings would also be really good. But I just feel like he'd be too tempted to answer all the questions before the contestants do. So right now, yeah, I think LeVar Burton would be my number one pick. But we have to see him do it. We have to see how it goes. Does he have a good flow, a good chemistry to it? I hope so, because I would totally love that. Yeah, he's the guest host. Hopefully we'll get a permanent gig. Yep, John Burns is giving all of his money, Dr. Scott Giles. John, is it as funny as the song promises? I bet it is. It's so funny, you guys. The more money, the more funny. Only because it keeps the lights on, which means and the internet on, which means I can keep making stuff. And I can keep showing up every week, so I very much appreciate it. I really like the blue striped shirt you wore on the last YouTube and got a good frame grab so I could look for one. Oh, awesome. Yeah, I wore that. I've had that sweater for like almost 10 years. And on my Talking the Orville videos, because I'm like, I want to make it a show. I'm like, you know what? I should dress a little nicer on Talking the Orville. So I'm like, well, let me find some of my nicer things to wear. Not that I really have much nicer things to wear. I'm like, oh, this might look a little nicer on camera. So I'm trying to dress a little bit better because I'm much like I want LeVar Burton to audition for Jeopardy with his guest hosting gig. I'm treating every episode of Talking to Orville like I'm auditioning for the Orville for production. I would love to get picked up by the Orville as the official, Orville show. Like The Ready Room with Will Wheaton. You know, it could be Talking the Orville with JP. I'd love to get picked up and maybe sponsored by them. So I try to, you know, up my game a little bit. So the more people that see episodes of Talking the Orville, the better chance of that happening. So that's why I'm trying to up my game. I'm trying to do those trivia questions every episode, which are a lot of fun. Because I was like, ooh, I get to pick what the question's going to be and the answer. And if I, you know, give the answer in a fun way or a serious way, or, you know, so I have fun making those. There are a lot of layers to make those. It's hard to make those trivia questions, like the visuals of it, but I kind of got a good system where it doesn't take as long as it should each time anymore, but there's a lot of layers to that. Editing stuff, those types of layers. JP, I would love to see Avery Brooks as recurring character who either Claire's love interest, DS9, boom, or we find out that he is really the father of Claire's kids. Now, apparently, I mean, that would be awesome. Apparently, there is no father to the kids, that she had probably artificial insemination or something like that done. Who knows what they do in the future. But in Into the Fold, she kind of led us to believe that there is no father, that it was done some other way. But who knows what she meant by that. Avery also has a musical talent. There could be a band with him. And Frakes, the Orville Cantina. And Gordon can sing. And Seth can sing. Actually, we've never heard Captain Mercer sing. I wonder if Seth MacFarlane ever plans on seeing if Captain Mercer can sing. Being that, you know, Seth MacFarlane is a famous singer. An accomplished singer. Thanks, Dr. Scott Giles. That's the goal. That would be very, very cool if I got officially picked up by the Orville to be the online presence. I don't know if that's ever happened. I don't know if any show's ever done that. Well, damn it, I want to try to make it happen. Flesas. Hello, JP. It's great to see you live again. I can't wait to watch the new season of the Orville. Think that any TNG cast member is going to guest star? Ooh, I don't think I have any. Yes, I do. But I don't have any leads as of yet. I mean, we're always open for Marina. Marina Sirtis is supposed to be the teacher. I don't know if she's going to still be the teacher next season. Jonathan Frakes says that he would love to play an alien on the show. So we'll see if they throw that in there. Maybe a little guest star. Love to get Brent Spiner on there. I don't think we'll be able to get Patrick Stewart anytime soon. Broccoli would be great. Mr. Barkley would be great to get on there. Michael Dorn would be great to get on there. Oh, Michael Dorn. Oh, that would be amazing. I don't know if they would want him to play a Moclan, or if he'd even be up to play a Moclan, because it's a little bit, you know, Moclans are a little bit made to be a little bit of an homage to the Klingons a little bit. So I don't know if he would want to do that. I'd just love to have him play a regular character, not an alien character. Neil deGrasse Tyson, who is science consultant for the Orville. He officially is a science consultant for the show. Yeah, Michael Dorn did troll us. He says, oh, looks like callback to duty. Starfleet, blah, 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 blah. Very cryptic text. Everyone's like, oh my God, Michael Dorn's going to be in Star Trek again. No, and I knew it right off the bat that he wasn't, because it said #ad. I'm like, oh, he's probably going to be in one of the Star Trek mobile apps or something like that. Because they bring the mobile game apps, they bring voices from Star Trek into their app all the time. And that's what it was. Yeah, Scott Bakula is a big one for me. I would love to have Scott Bakula on the Orville. I think he would fit very well. He could play Kelly's dad if he's alive. Or Kelly's uncle. Or Gordon's dad. Or he can be one of Dan's people. That would be hilarious. Scott Bakula is really top of the list for me. anything to get Scott Bakula back into some sort of sci-fi thing, even if it's just a guest appearance. John Burns.
Oh, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be a new fun thing.
How about Will Wheaton as the Traveler in Orville? We'd have, man, I love Will Wheaton. I'm just not that big of a fan of his acting as I was when he was a kid. I love Will Wheaton, though. He would be some goofy character. He would be a comedic character, I'm pretty sure, if they put him on there. What could he be? What role could Will Wheaton have? He could be some person, like if they went to a planet and it's kind of like, you know, just like the Majority Rule planet, where it's kind of looks like modern day United States. He could be some goofy character, you know, not super goofy, you know, serious side to him as well. Like going through something, we come across a planet. He could be a human type character. I don't know. I love Will Wheaton, but if he's on the TNG list to be a guest star in the Orville, he's last place compared to everyone else that I listed. Don't get me wrong, Will. I know you're watching right now. I love you, bud. But yeah, keep doing what you're doing right now. You're doing fine. You got the Instagram going. It's doing so well. And you got the Ready Room, so great. You got your coffee mugs. You're doing good, bud. You can come over on the Orville, but I just don't know where we're gonna put you. Oh, that's right. Bakula is a singer. I forgot about that one. I remember one year, many years ago, decades ago, actually, I was watching the Hollywood Christmas Parade, and he was one of the, whatever they call them, the people, one of the stars in the car, and I remember him singing a song. Absolutely. John Burns.
Everybody does it sometimes. I went to town on myself this morning. That's why I look so relaxed right now.
God, this whole ship is gross.
At Rants from Canada, I'd rather Neil deGrasse Tyson played someone who getting asked questions and always answers them with, how should I know? Yeah, have Neil deGrasse Tyson come on there as a dude that is just dumb. He doesn't know anything.
Sweet emotion.
Shut up, Wesley. Jay Lee is doing Entrancia, and he's got to make an album. I'd buy it. Yeah, Jay Lee's a really great pianist. Really good. Award-winning. Yeah, Scott Bakula sang a lot in Quantum Leap. Remember when he sang Imagine by John Lennon, and his sister was like, I've never heard that song before. I've never heard that song before. Oh my God, was the stuff you're telling me about being a time traveler true? That was a great episode. He leaps into himself as a child. I think it was a 2-part episode. John Burns.
We need no longer fear the banana.
Does it work on all fruit?
What about salads?
Betty White plays F. Murray Abraham's wife. So she'd be Selayan. F. Murray Abraham, of course, was the, I guess, moderator or whatever in the Sanctuary episode in season 2. He played a Selayan. And he had his assistant with him, played by Mark, a buddy of mine, Mark, who I met, 12 years ago or so. I'm like, oh my God, that's Mark. He's on the Orville. That's my show that I like. He's sitting right next to F. Murray Abraham. The guy that killed Amadeus, kind of, but not really. Yeah, Tim Russ is a singer and a guitar player. That's right. Man, they could have a whole sci-fi band. JP, here's an idea. A crew needs help, and the only person to help them is Sheldon from Big Bang Theory. And they meet him in the simulator. Yeah, I would assume that could happen because I assume that the Big Bang Theory is a show that once existed on Earth in the Orville universe hundreds of years ago. Just like Star Trek exists in the Orville universe as a TV show that existed hundreds of years ago. Just like Seinfeld. And of course, they were watching Seinfeld in the Priya episode. There's a lot of urine here. I told you I was a great pianist. It's the pianist corner. Will Gordon marry Kelly in the show? Definitely not. Because they're divorced now. Scott Grimes and Adrian are they were married for a little bit, but now they're divorced. Still friends, though. I got to keep my eye on the clock, you guys. Because I got to make sure I'm not late to pick up the kid. It's a rainy day schedule. Remember those? A battle of the bands on the Orville. Gordon's going to win that. Gordon's the big singer on the crew. And divorce her later on the show. Yeah, that would work. Frakes as an alien masquerading as Kelly's dead father for some reason. What? Dun dun dun. Dad? Hello, Kelly. I thought you were dead. That's what I needed everyone to think. Where have you been? Trimming my beard. For a long time. Looks good. Making pizza. I started my own pizza restaurant. Kelly says, JP, I actually liked Will Wheaton's role in Eureka. Oh, yeah, I love it. I haven't seen that in forever, but God, I loved Eureka. That was a fun damn show. And the Big Bang Theory. What did you think? I don't watch a lot of Big Bang Theory, but I'm pretty sure I saw Will Wheaton in an episode. He seemed just fine. He seemed like himself. And then, Eureka. I don't remember much of him in Eureka, but I remember Eureka a lot. I loved that show. That's comedy sci-fi in a goofy town. A goofy town. I love shows that take place in a goofy town. That's why Resident Alien is so good. Just this quirky town, small town, and he's dealing with the people of the town. It's great. That's why I like Gilmore Girls, because the quirky little town that they were in. And the writing, the dialogue is really good on that show. JP, they need to have Gordon teach Bortus foul language, and he uses it in the most inappropriate ways. That would also work with Isaac as well. But yeah, it's always fun when Gordon teaches Bortus something or suggests, because, Bortus got the mustache because of Gordon. Kelly, I am your father. Oh, ah. Orville isn't using its aliens good enough. There's too much attention on Mocklins and almost no info on other interesting species. Yeah, I would love to go back to the Caliban. I would love to learn more about the Retepsians. We have aliens that are part of the crew. Dan's people we don't know much about yet, though I know we're going to be learning more about all these characters a little bit more next season, because that's part of the focus as well. Yaphet, everybody wants to know more about the jelly people. Seriously, how does that work? How does being a jelly work? Everybody wants to know. So they need to figure it out, agree on it, and tell us, because we definitely want to know. Make Betty White Penny's great aunt. That kind of episode works so well for Star Trek TNG. On the other hand, have her be a Golden Girl. JP, think there'll be any tearjerkers this new season? Yes, absolutely. I know there's at least one huge tearjerker. Penny Johnson-Gerald read a script this season for the new season, and after she read it, she went outside, and she said she had a really good cry after reading the script, but she felt so happy and overjoyed. So it must be a beautiful tearjerker of an episode. Probably like a happy refrain type of thing. So it might be a follow-up. To be that the actor, was so overwhelmed by it means that she, personalized it, which means it might be about her character, who she personalizes, and everything that happens to that character, which is what actors do. So I'm guessing that we're going to have a tearjerker of an episode, at least one, if not more, and that it's Claire and Isaac related, which I'm thinking could be the Gently Falling Rain episode. But I'm just putting two and two together. I have no idea if that's true or not. It could be any. I got 5 episode titles, but there's 6 more out there, so that we don't know yet. There could be an episode called "Putting on the Ritz." I have no idea. Yeah, the Gilmore Girls townies were half the show. I just started rewatching Gilmore Girls a little bit, because my girlfriend never saw it. I'm like, oh, you should watch that show. And she's like, all right, I'll watch it. So I've been catching some episodes here or there. Currently, Resident Alien is a sci-fi show, Sci-Fi Network, but I've been watching it. Sci-Fi has already finished their run of it, the first season, but Peacock is currently airing the show. But they're still they're doing a new episode each week, so they just released the 8th episode. Hell, 9th episode might be out today or tomorrow. And it's a 10-episode season, so I'm currently watching it on Peacock. I don't know if it's one of the free shows. Peacock has free shows and shows that you can watch by paying. I don't know which one it is because I just pay for Peacock because I need Peacock. I need Peacock bad, guys. No, I have to have Peacock because it's the only place to watch Parks and Recreation and The Office, which I do often, and always will for the rest of my life. So I have to have Peacock. But it turns out Peacock has a lot of other stuff on it that I've been checking out as well. Yeah, season 3, we don't know exactly yet. My guess is very late October, early November. And we might have to wait till December. I'm just guessing. I'm just guessing that they want part of the season to air in 2021 and the other part to air in 2022. And they only have 11 weeks to do that. But that's only if they care about that. I just assume they care about having season 3 air within both years so they get credit for both years. But that might not be a thing at all. I could just be making that up in my head. Keeping an eye on that clock, you guys. We still got time. Yeah, Norm Mcdonald. I hope we get more Norm Mcdonald guest appearing in the environmental simulator in season 3. That was such a... I never expected that to happen, and yet right before it did happen, I'm like, oh my God, he's going to be Norm Mcdonald. And boom, the camera cut over, and it was Norm Mcdonald. And I'm like, yes, they could totally do that stuff. They could have... Isaac could be human in the eSim. I don't know why he can't do it outside of the environmental simulator because they have a holographic emitter that Isaac made in season 1, the Krill episode. So hopefully they'll remember that they have that, and in season 3 we'll just see Mark Jackson walk onto the bridge and take his post, and everyone's like, hello? Who are you? And it's like, oh, hello, Captain. It's Isaac. Do you not recognize me? And it's just Mark Jackson. They could totally do that. At least for one episode. I hope they do it. I expected them to do it last season, and they didn't. So I hope they do that this season. Yep. Claire and Yaphet they were knocking boots in Cupid's Dagger episode in season 1. I'm still grossed out by that a little bit. Jason Statham and Vin Diesel as some kind of Fast and Furious delivery men on the Orville. Too planetary, too union. Yeah, Halston Sage is doing great on Prodigal Son. I watched 1 or 2 episodes of the first season. I thought it was great. I never continued on with it because I was just doing other things. But people seem to really be liking that show. JP, do you think we get a Gordon and Lamar away mission together this season? I think there's a little bit of that, yes. When I talked to Jay Lee and I asked him that question, he says, yeah, there's some of that going on. Don't know what it is. I don't know if it's I would love a full away mission with just Gordon and John. And something happens and they're in trouble and they're stuck together and they have to figure it out and they learn more about each other and we learn more about them. Kind of like that episode with Trip and Malcolm in Enterprise when they were stuck on that shuttle and they're going to freeze to death and they got drunk together. Something like that. That would be great. Ooh, the Tomorrow. Chris Pratt. I love Chris Pratt. The movies and characters he plays. I don't necessarily agree with Chris Pratt the person, though I love everything he does, movie and TV wise. New movie, The Tomorrow War. I haven't even heard of that. I need to check that out. That sounds like something I would love. Yeah, they got drunk off Archer's whiskey and they started talking about T'Pol's bum. T'Pol has a nice bum. Aha, Gordon, Lamar, and Bortus on an away mission would be super. I would like that. That would be great. My one reservation is Bortus being there. Bortus is totally awesome. He's good at his job, and he's their boss. So he'd be able to guide them into doing stuff. I'd like to see the two of them have to figure something out on their own. But yeah, the three of them, because then Bortus would really add them messing with Bortus would really add a lot of comedy, which is always fun. The fate of a futuristic war rests upon one man's ability to confront the ghosts of his past in a world. Well, I got to check that trailer out for that. Humanity is losing to an alien invasion. Ooh. So to fight back, scientists develop a way to draft soldiers from the past to fight the war. Oh, that sounds good. Well, I don't know if it's good. It sounds fun. It sounds interesting at the least. Yeah, I'm down for that. I'm totally down for that. Is that going to be in the theaters only, or is it going to go to HBO Max like all the other movies? Or is it Netflix? Is it some good movies are like, oh, it's a Netflix original? What? Yeah, I want Talia to come back too, Fly Sauce. It really seems like she is. I should look into Michaela McManus. I should do some deep research, see if I can find any moments of her saying, oh yeah, doing the Orville, or she's gone to the Fox lot. And I'm like, ooh, I know what you're at the Fox lot for. Lone Puppy? What?
Show no mercy. We fight for the glory of Avis.
That we do. I'd like to see Gordon's centric episode where he's in officer training at a fleet training facility and something goes down while he is in there. And he actually has to step up and take control. That'd be awesome. Absolutely. Because, yeah, will Gordon continue on in Season 3 with his command training? He started a little bit of command training. We don't know if he's really into it or not, or he's just trying to prove something to himself. Because there's just something missing. We learned that there's just something missing in Gordon's life. He doesn't have... It's not what he wants it to be. He doesn't have... People don't take him serious enough. People don't believe in him enough. And he wants love. He wants a connection. He wants something real with somebody else. And he thought maybe going into command training would get that for him. Then he starts hitting on Michelle Boyd, who actually played opposite of Kelly in Tomorrow. You know, Kelly, there was two Kellys. Michelle Boyd actually played the other Kelly for regular Kelly to act across. And but they gave her a role as the girl that Gordon was hitting on in the mess hall. So yeah, I'm in command training now. What's up? So does he continue on with that? Was that the thing that leads to the other thing? Like Vin Diesel in Boiler Room, and that led to Triple X and Fast and the Furious. That's how things work out, you guys. Very little growth moment. Do you think that Orville needs more big alien factions, empires to help in the war against the Kaylon and to expand the universe? Yes, I do. The Kaylon are a big technological threat. They're just as advanced as the Caliban. And the Caliban are crazy advanced. And also the Kaylon are actually even worse because, you know, you kill some Kaylon, nobody cares. They just make more Kaylon. No one's heartbroken. They're not like, oh my God, they're killing us. Now let's make more. So, you know, every Kaylon you take down, another one just takes its place. So they're very dangerous. So yeah, you know, we got the Krill on our side. We need more. Because also it's going to be a very tentative treaty with the Krill. There's going to be a lot of arguing going on. A lot of oh, we're just going to pull out. And then the Moclans are pissed off about their gender issues and their biases and their bigotry. So they're like, oh, we'll just leave and you won't have no weapons no more, suckers. So yeah, we need some more factions. It would be great to get the Caliban, but the Caliban don't care. And it would be... So my prediction since... for 2 years now has been that the Caliban will come to us to help them get off their addiction of reality television that we gave them. And in return, we'll ask for their help against the Kalon. So the Caliban, I think we need to get on our side and helping them out with the issue with reality television that's probably messed up their society a little bit, just as it did our society. Will be the little trade that we'll make. There's also the Choctaw. Don't forget the Choctaws. Pretty powerful race of monkey, dog, bulldog monsters that the Krill are actually afraid of. So maybe we'll be able to find out more about the Choctaw and maybe get their help. We need to pull everybody together to go up against the Kalon, or we just need to find another way to take down the Kalon. My other theory about Electric Sheep is maybe we figure out how to put the Kalon in sleep mode. They are computers, after all. So maybe we figure out how to take them down in some way and put them all to sleep. At least for a short time. It's like, who knows when they'll wake up again? We don't know. But we're glad they're asleep now. Who knows what's going to happen? Who knows what's going to happen? I'm still thinking the multiphasic planet was the OG... is the OG Kalon. So maybe if we figure out that the multiphasic people are the OG original Kalon biological people, maybe we can do something to stop all of this from happening in the multiphasic timeline. Maybe we go to that planet and stop the whole Kalon situation. What? Because it's time travel stuff. Maybe we find a way to time travel in a very different way using that multiphasic stuff mixed with the anti-banana ray. The possibilities are endless with the Orville, you guys. Don't forget to watch Season 3 coming out someday this year. We don't know when. Lone Puppy, what?
I am awaiting my dinner. This has caused me to become displeased.
I feel like Gordon is an homage to Tom Paris. Yeah, a little bit. I could totally see that. Could bring Gordon's dad on, and he's goofier than Gordon, and they're the best buds. Yeah, Gordon did say about his dad in About a Girl during when him, Bortus, and John were watching the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and Bortus left, and he says, "I'll return. I must talk to Clyden." And John's like, "He just left his kid with two drunk dudes." And Gordon's like, reminds me of my dad. I miss him. So it'd be great to. I'd love to meet Gordon's New Jersey dad at some point. But yeah, Tom Paris. Tom Paris was kicked out of Starfleet and because of, well, basically the thing that happened in the TNG episode when Wesley was at Starfleet, but they changed the character's name so they didn't have to pay the writer that created that episode. But yeah, Tom Paris was a bad boy, but they needed his skills, so they brought him in. Same is true with Gordon. Gordon's a bad boy, but Ed needed his skills and he vouched for him. So now he has a job on a Union ship. Absolutely. Butterfly people. Yeah, we're called the Butterfly Effects. We need some more genuinely alien aliens. Yeah, who knows? I mean, you don't get more alien than Yaphet, even though he feels like a buddy. But yeah, we need some new aliens that we haven't met yet. I mean, we still need to deep dive into the ones we have met yet, because we don't know much about a lot of these races, but we need some newbies to put on the board as well. Take any character from Star Trek or the Orville and put them in the holodeck, and have them play another character who's not the same species in a holodeck game. Yaphet plays Dixon Hill. I think Yaphet would have a great time playing Dixon Hill. Oh, that would be fun. And he knows how to hug the donkey. Poodle people. Well, we had in the Orville comic, New Beginnings, we had penguin people. We met an alien race of penguins. Can't remember what they're called. We also, in the Orville comics, we met some aquatic. I mean, they're humanoids, but they're obviously evolved from aquatic creatures. I mean, they had, weird. They look like fish people, but humanoid. JP, Tom Paris and Gordon are both good pilots who loved holographic programs. Oh, and the 20th century. That's right. Tom was all about creating those weird 20th century. More mid-century for Tom, as opposed to late century for Gordon. But yes, absolutely, forgot about that. It'd be funny if Orville did add their own critters like aliens and set Gordon against them. It would be I would die laughing. Yeah, because of course Scott Grimes was the star of Critters. He was a kid, but that's where I remembered him from when I started watching Orville. I'm like, why does that dude look familiar? He'd done a million things. I didn't recognize him from any of those other things he did. I just remembered him from Critters. Maybe there's going to be a kind of situation where huge forces join together, some with the Kalon and some with the Union. Ooh. Who would the Kalon even allow to join up with them? They're against all sentient biologicals. We are the Toasters. We shall join you against the biologicals. Yeah, I think we're going to... I mean, the Kalon situation is going to be there. I think we're going to be going on some bigger adventures that goes well beyond, all sentient life in the galaxy possibly being destroyed. Yeah, something even bigger than that. More dangerous than that. At least gets in the way. I think we're going to be asked some amazing, theoretical questions, ethical questions, questions about morality, the right thing to do in whatever situations. Maybe not even given the answer, but just given the proposition of the ideal being expressed, just so we could think about something, put our minds to something besides, oh, here's the picture of my food. Check it out, everybody. I'm going to use the food filter. Yeah, I see you, Internet. I know what you're doing. Kalon will join the Toasters. Ooh, and the Toasters can be the Cylons. Oh no, the Kalon and the Cylons joined up together. Ooh, what if the Kalon do what the Cylons did and come up with some skin jobs to trick us? Ooh. The only thing that the Kalons would be allies with are holograms. Oh. And, as we know, the Kalon have holographic emitters because Isaac made a holo emitter for Gordon and Ed in the Krill episode so they can look like Krill. Ooh. Kalon ally with synth Picard. Dun dun dun. Very popular opinion. Christopher Walken as anything in the Orville. Oh wow, Captain Mercer. Long time no see. Yeah, the Kalon would only be allies with something they can control. So yeah, holograms would be great. Roombas. Maybe they get all the Roombas in the universe to revolt. Thanks, Jonathan. I try. Well, that creature looks like that creature in Monsters vs. Aliens and the new Star Trek Prodigy, where gelatin-looking thing in there as well. Yeah. Yeah, Monsters came before Orville, and then, of course, Orville came way before Prodigy. I guess everybody's ready for that jelly now. It's jelly time. Jelly time in here. Peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly with a baseball bat. Thanks, Dr. Scott Giles. Ooh, sentient starships. That's like the Cylons. Yeah, I was wondering when we first saw the Kalon spheres in Identity last season. I was like, ooh, are they piloted by Are there Kalon inside, or is the whole thing one big Kalon? Which would be very Battlestar Galactica. That'd probably be a little too on the nose. So I actually was glad to see that there was like three or so Kalon inside, which I still think was an homage to Cylons. Ooh, that's very likely as well. That's good storytelling right there. That's upping the stakes, Jay. Jay says, or perhaps they won't get another ally, but the Union gets another enemy. I can definitely see. I mean, we already know the Mocklins are we're losing a little bit of trust with the Mocklins. Of course, I haven't had trust with the Mocklins at all, ever. First time we went to Mocklins in About a Girl, they almost exploded us with their stupid firing range. And they were all like, oopsie. I'm like, yeah, I see what you're doing. And then in season 2, when they're shooting torpedoes at us during the deflectors test, and we're like, hey, we said no deflectors. Didn't you hear me? I said in the meeting, no deflectors. She's like, I was right there. You said no deflectors. And they were like, oopsie. Again, I was like, okay, those Mocklins are ready to kill some humans on accident. So I was like, right there, I don't trust the Mocklins. They seemed like they're very much only in the Union to sell weapons. Swift.
I am sorry you are upset. Perhaps you are on your period.
What? Do you think Seth, Fox, or Hulu would ever allow a Rule 34 Orville on Pornhub? I hope so. That's the only reason I'd sign up for Pornhub. They might. No, they wouldn't. Disney's the overall owner of everything. But, you know, maybe someday we'll get some Orville parodies on Pornhub. Oh, we got to come up with some episodes about two girls. Majority drool. All right, porn versions of Orville episodes. Everybody, bring them out. Ooh, Bill Burr in an episode of the Orville. That'd be great. Bill Burr would be a great, at least, voice of one of these digital creatures that they create sometimes. Bill Burr has a great voice for stuff. Oh, Bill Burr as a jelly. Bill Burr would be a perfect jelly. Yaphet's dad or uncle or just friend or something. Bill Burr would be the perfect choice for a jelly. Did they ever pick anyone else to play jelly? BS. Should have been Bill Burr the whole time. It's internet rule. If it exists, there's porn made about it. Absolutely. 2 jellies, 1 cup. Yeah, Yaphet has a brother that used to be his mother. Yeah. Sir, you are mocking me. Well, we are Mocklins. Jelly Bill. Yeah, I used to want William Shatner, but now that I'm thinking Bill Burr, I only want Bill Burr to play a jelly. Sorry. Sorry, Bill. You're just going to play something else on the show. Yeah, Patrick Stewart would be a good jelly. He's got one of those voices. Bill Burr would be a fantastic as a talk show host, TV online or whatever. Yeah, he's got his podcast thing that he does that he's pretty good with. I hope they do a Bill Burr. You know, he played that character on The Mandalorian turned out to be a pretty good character. I would love it if they gave him a show. If they're handing out shows to every Star Wars character, let's give Bill Burr a show. Lone puppy, what?
You ever see a picture of a caterpillar pupa?
Come on.
But it was the thought that counted.
But it was a thought that counted. Exactly.
How's about somebody pranking Bortus by change males to females in his porn sim, and he comes out with a huge smile on his face? He's like, oh, that's where that goes. If he's even allowed on, he probably lost all of his eSIM privileges. That's the first thing I would do with him. Either that, or it's like, okay, you're in charge of cleaning all the holodecks. Yeah, they really did some good stuff in season 2 with the Bill Burr character. I hope he shows up again, or at least give him a show. They kind of showed that he was on a path to redemption in season 2 in that final episode he was in. I'm like, let's see that redemption happen. Let's see it. Let's do it. Yeah, 2 girls, 1 Yaphet. I'm sure it was so long ago, Belinda, but yes, I have seen, if I haven't seen the whole thing, I've seen a lot of Monsters vs. Aliens. I remember the Jelly character, but I don't actually remember the personality of the Jelly character. I think the Orville is more exciting to watch than new Star Trek. It's unexplored territory. Yeah, I'm enjoying a lot of the new Star Trek now. It took a couple years, but now I'm starting to enjoy it. But yeah, having an entirely fresh, clean universe doing the classics sci-fi thing is much more preferred for me, for my taste. And God, exciting. You can't get more exciting than the Battle for Earth sequence in Identity Part 2. That battle was supposed to be like 2 minutes, and they made it like 7 or 8 minutes long with non-stop craziness going on. I remember they went to commercial break, and then they came back from commercial break right in the midst of the Battle for Earth, Union versus Kalon, and it just kept going, and it was so high level that I was just, my face was glued to the screen. I'm like, where the hell did this come from, Orville? Damn! And that episode got Emmy nominated. It broke record for the longest space battle on television history. And wow. I wonder if we're going to get any Emmy nominations for season 3. Because it's supposed to be crazy. It's supposed to be crazy. The gelatin creature in Monsters vs. Aliens. Have you... Oh, yeah. I've seen it, but I don't remember much about it. But I have seen it. I'm sure I've seen at least most of it, if not the whole thing. I probably saw the whole thing. It's very rare that I don't see an entire movie when I start it. Yeah, Shatner as the Union president, maybe as Avis, as anything, would be fascinating. Now, of course, if we ever run across Avis in the show, it'd be an eSIM, be a holodeck situation, because he's just a deity that probably never existed. And so yeah, you can recreate anything in the eSIM, so you might as well do it and then have William Shatner play the voice. That would be absolutely incredible.
Oh my God. Oh God. My God. It's so good. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable.
Lone Puppy helping to keep the lights on here at this little show called Talking the Orville, which hopefully will someday will be a big old show. It probably won't. We'll just keep it for us, you guys. It'll be our show forever. It's always be our thing. Could Yaphet be a comedic crass homage to Odo? And Yaphet's homeworld could be covered in jelly. Yeah, Odo, of course, was kind of a jelly a little bit. Didn't he sleep in a bucket as well? I mean, Yaphet doesn't sleep in a bucket, but he kind of sleeps in a tub. A very flat, shallow tub, but a tub it is. And he is, Odo was pretty crass, but, Yaphet's more crass. Well, it's not that. No, Odo wasn't crass. He wasn't having it. He just wasn't having it. He'll tell you straight up. He'll tell you everything straight. No niceties. Do you think they'll make an episode where Gordon will have to take the captain's chair? Well, man, he is very far down the line. He would have to be, he'd have to get a promotion for it to easily happen, because it goes, Ed, Kelly, Bortus. Ooh, is John next or is Tala next? Because he's the chief of engineering. He's high up there now. I don't know if it'd be Tala or if it'd be John. Or they might just pick one depending on what's going on. Let's go real different. A member of the Orville decides to seek out a church of Avis to ask for asylum, making it a single male Mocklin. Make it a single male Mocklin. The Church of Avis to ask for asylum. Now, there were some Union scientists, xenoanthropologists, in the Word of Avis comic book, which is soft canon for the Orville, where they were trying to get into Krill space because they wanted to join the Church of Avis. And so it would be kind of like that. So I could see that happening. That would be very different. Somebody seeking asylum with the Krill as opposed to the Union. Or what if someone from the Krill wants to seek asylum with the Union? They're like, I want to be, because we've seen the Krill that we've seen, but I'm sure it's a whole planet of people. I'm sure there's lots of different types of Krill ideologies and types of people, just like there is on our planet. So what if there's some Krill that's like, I don't like all the stuff that my people have been doing. It's a little crazy, you guys. So can I be part of the Union? You guys seem pretty cool. You guys got any marijuana? Something like that. So what if there's a Krill that wants to seek asylum on one of our ships? Yeah, I'm looking forward to Strange New Worlds. I'd prefer to have nothing, no prequels at all. But this will be Paramount's chance to maybe hopefully reclaim some of the damage done to that part of the timeline with the first 2 seasons of Discovery. I was very happy to learn that Discovery was going 1,000 years in the future. I'm like, that's where you guys should have been since the first season. Is 1,000 years in the future. You could even have had it there from an earlier timeline, but they end up lost in time in the 1,000 years in the future. They should have had the show start off that way. That's a really cool idea. And they have to learn about what the future is like. That would have been great. Or you could just had it where they're from the 32nd century and we're just starting off a new crew in the 32nd century. They could have done any new thing they wanted to do. But yeah, it's doing what they were doing, but having it be in an established part of the timeline was a bad idea. And I've known that since the beginning. So once I heard they were going 1,000 years in the future, I'm like, oh, that's a great way to, if you're going to continue on with the show, that's a great way to, save a little grace there. So I enjoyed Discovery Season 3 for the most part. More than not. And that's all I ever want from any show. I want to enjoy it a little bit more than certain things that kind of rub me the wrong way or whatever, or a little disappointing. But if I mostly enjoy it, good, thumbs up. Do you think Crewman Daniels would be in Discovery? Well, Crewman Daniels was originally from the 29th century, just like Priya's from the 29th century. 2 different universes. Oh no, Daniels would be in Discovery. I don't know if Daniels would be in Discovery, but Daniels might be in whatever show they're going to be doing with Michelle Yeoh. I think Michelle Yeoh is going to be doing some Time War stuff. Maybe Section 31 show will be a Time War show, which would be cool. I can't stand her character, though they did redeem her as much as they possibly could, at least to start, though I don't think she's fully redeemed, which is good, because it's always good to have somebody have room to grow, or else what's the point of watching their story? I feel like Michelle Yeoh's Section 31 show, or whatever show they end up having it be, doesn't have to be called Section 31. It might just be called, I used to eat other alien races' ears. Fliblias, or whatever the hell they call it. I used to be more of a jerk. The Star Trek show. Time Wars. It seems like that's what they're going to be doing with her. I don't know for sure. It just kind of felt that way with the way that she left. Hey, what's up, Kevin Scott? Discovery in the future is just a reuse of the Andromeda script made with horrible Mary Sue character. That's a word I don't recognize. Most stars of almost every show is a Mary Sue. John McClane's a Mary Sue. He was just a regular trained cop, but now he can surf on jets. That's a Mary Sue. So I never use that term because it usually doesn't apply. No finding a human-friendly Krill would just be a rehash of the female Mocklins. Which I'm sure we'll be getting a lot more female Mocklins. I know that Havina, played by Rena Owens, she has the voice of 100 soldiers. She's returning next season, so I'm sure that might even be the Tale of Two Topas episode. I don't know. What was his name? What was the new dude's name in Discovery Season 3? Not Crash. No. What's the new dude that she's kind of Michael Burnham's in love with now? I can't remember his name. That's the thing about, you watch a show and you just start forgetting everything, all the little details, because you just move on to the next thing, or it just didn't stick with you. I enjoyed the adventure of Season 3 of Discovery, but I still don't. There's certain things I still don't care about. They weren't successful at getting me to care about the bridge crew. All the kids that work on the bridge. I still don't care about them. Tilly a little bit, of course. We know more about Tilly. Don't really care about the rest of them. So maybe next season they'll get me to. We'll learn a little bit more about them, and they won't be annoying. They won't be, I don't know, hugging a tree or whatever, which was fine. It just didn't do anything for me emotionally. But that's a show. Didn't care much about certain characters on TNG until seasons later. Or any of the previous Trek series, I guess. We didn't really care about Chekhov until the movies, when they started giving him stuff to say that was more interesting than Yes, Captain. Lone Puppy, what?
There was no equipment malfunction.
Well, you don't have to brag about it.
What if we see Seth Exists simulator wearing familiar blue overalls, Enterprise, and somebody inside calls out to Ensign Rivers, "Where are you going?" "Well, I'm going to check the EPS manifold." Ensign Rivers, 2 episodes of Enterprise has Seth MacFarlane in them. A lot of people that worked on Enterprise work on the Orville. The Orville is very much made of the Enterprise crew. Writing, producing, camera work, a lot of that stuff. So I always considered the Orville to be a true torchbearer for Enterprise. And hopefully the Orville gets more seasons than Enterprise got. But yeah, maybe there'll be an Ensign. The Orville could get away with having just some character on the ship be called Ensign Rivers as a little nod to that. But, it could be a girl, Ensign Rivers. It could be anything. It could be, it should be a human with the last name Rivers, but it doesn't have to be, I guess. The bridge crew is glorified background set dressing. Yeah. For the most part, yeah, I agree with that. So that's why it's weird when they try to do more with them. Though they should be trying to do more with them as well. But when they do, it's like, but they're set dressing a lot. But really, much of the crew of the original series was set dressing. Sulu and Chekhov, for the most part, were just doing guest appearances. The show was Bones, Spock, and Kirk. The other characters got a little extra to do every once in a while, but for the most part, they were just set dressing, just extras for the most part. It's seasons later that they start doing more with the characters. I mean, the original series didn't get a lot of seasons; they only got 3. But you got 1 million episodes per season back in those days, so they were able to do stuff eventually. Not much, but a little bit. Yeah, they were unemployed, and Seth said, buddy, you need a job? Plus, that was Seth's first experience working on Star Trek. Because you know when Seth got the role to play Ensign Rivers that he had his hands in everything, just asking questions. What do you do? This is that. Trying to make Star Trek buddies as much as he can because he's one of the biggest Star Trek fans there is. And he probably made a lot of, because he was already a little bit successful at that time. So he probably made a lot of relationships, kept them, and then once it was time to do his own version of Gene Roddenberry's vision of the future, he says, all right, let's bring on all these people. And even if you go and watch Enterprise, you'll see a lot of storylines in Enterprise that pop up in some way or form, sometimes very little, on the Orville. Like, there was a lot of times I went back when I did the rewatch last year of Enterprise. I was rewatching it, and then I would say, oh, that happened on the Orville. Oh, that happened on the Orville. Whoa, that happened on the Orville. Oh, damn, you guys. I got to end this stream. I got to go pick up the kid. I got 15 minutes to get there. What? And traffic is going to suck. So, abruptly ending this stream, I want to thank you guys for all your support. John Burns, oh my God, thank you so much. Helping to keep this channel going. Very much appreciate it.
I am sorry you are upset.
You sure you watched the first
Perhaps
season of
you are on
TOS, the
period.
episodes that had a number of non-Kirk, Spock, McCoy characters involved. Yeoman Rand was in a couple early. Yeoman Rand. I went back and I watched all season finales on one of the watch parties. Don't forget, tomorrow, the watch party on the Egotastic FunTime Twitch. I'm going to try to find a movie for us to watch. TBD. But it'll be tomorrow afternoon. The Twitch link is below. Click on it, follow, so you make sure you get the announcement of when we're going to go live. We'll chat a little bit, and then I'll start the watch party. And then we'll chat all throughout the movie as well. Thank you guys for helping to keep the lights on, help keep this dream of creating fun, positive content alive. It's all appreciated, it's all needed, and it's all love of the best universe out there for sci-fi fans. The most happening universe, because we're all just pretty damn cool, and I think the Orville helps influence and remind us that it's nice to be nice, and we all do better when we all do better. And I'll see you very soon next week with an all-new video and, of course, another live show. And I hope all your times are Egotastic FunTimes, and you can click any of the support links down below. And there's a link at the top of this chat box that's a link to Egotastic 2, which is also a channel I'll be putting out content out, once or twice a week, with just some of my thoughts on the world, on TV shows that I'm watching, this, and that. And the Lone Puppy, thank you very much. That gets a big boom.
Boom, bitch!
I'll see you guys soon, and I hope all your times are Egotastic FunTimes. Love you, bub.